Alrighty, we are back in the Sunless Sea. So it's been a hot second since the last time we were in here. I believe we had just purchased ourselves not a mansion. We had purchased ourselves the slightly upgraded lodging, and we'd finally written ourselves a will, which is fantastic. We also talked to the Claderi heir with the strange catch that we found. Sadly, we don't have a live specimen here that we can use to kind of further progress her story. And it looks like, even though we've met her father, it looks like we need to go a long way into her kind of quest line before we can actually tell her that, if I'm understanding this correctly. So, other than that, we've got plenty of fuel. We do not have plenty of supplies, it's looking like. We're still looking for the spider silk, I think? Bolts of spider silk, right? In Savior's Rocks or at the Connate or Mount Palmerston, which in this playthrough has not been near to the north. We've explored out about halfway across the map so far, and we still haven't come across Mount Palmerston, which I've been told is somewhere in the north side of the Untersee. We've still got to get to King Eater's castle to find our father's bones, and we're still looking for the Sea of Lilies, which is what our shady cook is looking for. Somewhere in the eastern central of the map. Now, we know from descriptions that the Connate is somewhere in the middle of the map, so probably around here-ish. So I'm expecting to see that at some point around. Hopefully we'll be able to get out there. I don't think we can run any more Sphinx Stone from the salt lines, since it seems that the last delivery we did to the Grand Geode was set as the last, it was called the last delivery, or maybe that was the achievement that popped up. But it's unlikely that we'll be able to run anything more from the salt lines. We could still visit by there. We've still got things to do in Port Carnelian to find our submarine components. I believe we have 2 locations that we have to find for that submarine sonar component. And let's check our, probably the journal here. Yeah, look at this. You've delivered your last load of Sphinx Stone. So I do believe that that was the last load that we can probably deliver. But for the submarine stuff, if it's here... Right, we need to find either Station 3 or the Khan's, or just Khan's Shadow, which both seem to be locations that it was likely the research before whatever agreement or treaty that the Khanate and the Admiralty came across to not explore the Untersee. The Untersee's Untersee. I don't know if it's called anything specific. Basically, to stop underwater research was agreed upon. So one of those 2 locations, if we find them, should give us the Sonar schematics that we need to get our ship outfitted to be a submarine. Other than that, we do know that our Nomic Gallivant, our passenger right now, is looking for Port Cecil, along with the Admiralty, actually. And the Admiralty gave us a location for that. It is somewhere northeast of Fallen London. I think this may be what we end up looking for today. We'll probably set off on our first excursion out, looking for wherever Port Cecil will be. If we check, so somewhere northeast of Fallen London will probably be up here. We know that there is I think it's a tyrant moth up by the Ragged Crow. So I don't want to get too close to there. But we've only found Demew Island, really, in the northeast section here. And it looks like the Ragged Crow actually has a dock there somewhere as well. Though I don't think we've ever docked at that point. Interesting. I do believe there are a few more... A few more locations here that I have docked at. But I think the path that we're going to take initially here is we're going to just set across, straight across. We'll buy our food and supplies. We've got plenty of fuel. So we just have to get those supplies to just set out straight across here. Maybe we'll figure out whatever this is, and then we'll head north up from there. I think that'll be what we do. Hopefully we don't run into anything too discouraging when we're going in that direction. If we do, we can always return. But I want to check on first the salt lions to see if we can do anything else there, or if there's different opportunities there now that we've delivered the quote-unquote last load of Sphinx Stone that we're going to deliver there. And then I want to check out what this port is, because I don't recall what was down there between Pigmote Isle and the Salt Lions. I don't recall seeing a port. I guess it must have been on the edges of my excursion, whatever I was doing down between there. But I don't recall docking at anything between there. Maybe I did, and we're just not remembering. But for now, it is a mystery. So I do want to sail down here. But before we do that, we've got to get some supply. Since we're making a longer trip, as well as the fact that we have cargo space to spare now that we don't have that Sphinx Stone cluttering up our cargo hold, I think we'll just buy up lots of supplies. They are somewhat expensive. Well, I say expensive, at least in regards to fuel. They're technically cheaper in Port Carnelian, but I think that's the cheapest I've seen them for so far. So I think I'll just buy up, let's say, 12? 12, maybe 14? We do have only a half crew. So it may be worth buying, let's say, 12 of these and looking for some more crew in London. Do we have the ability to find a new recruit? No, I believe that is because we picked up an officer the last time we were here. I think it was this guy, the Haunted Doctor. So, oh, it looks like we can actually chat with him just about politics, science, or his medical career, but that would use up some supply. Since we're about to go on a long excursion, I think that would be a bad idea. So, he is soft voice, courteous. Rarely makes eye contact, but often stares at other people's eyes from afar. I do believe this is the first time we've happened upon this officer. We have had I think it was the sigil-ridden navigator. We have had other individuals who really just wanted to come to see. Maybe that was this guy, and I just didn't mentally process his image, but I don't believe I've had anybody with an eye patch before. Anyway, I think we will go try to find some more crew here. Got 100% chance of having some good crew come aboard. 8, I think, would be a good number to have. I wouldn't be upset with 7 either. Anything more than 8, I would be a little annoyed at. But we'll give it a try. Your tall tales find a ready audience. Scarred and seasoned men and women tramp aboard and find places to sling hammocks. Lost a little bit of terror, and we've gained 2 crew. Okay, perfect. 2 crew will give us an extension on our supplies. 7 crew is definitely not going to eat through our supplies as quickly as the 9 crew that we've been running around with for the majority of the time. We actually lost them pretty quick. I think like all at once, just about. But luckily, we are back up, and I think this gives us a little bit of a buffer to get a few crew taken down. Hopefully, we won't have to resort to being at below half crew. We'll see. We'll see if we get unlucky. But I think with that, with the 12 supplies and the 19 fuel, we're good to head out. We'll just leave the lights off here so we don't waste any more fuel than we need. If we're lucky, we might be able to find the Lighthouse Ship that's out here. We might be able to get them to track us with their beam so we don't have to waste any more fuel than is necessary. Unfortunately, looks like they're headed the opposite direction of our ship path. Still, we can sort this out. we go. We'll just kind of meander our way over here. I do believe we picked up a officer that gave us an engine upgrade. Yes, Maybe's daughter, who we're still not sure about. I believe she also requires a strange catch to talk to. And judging by her name, and I think her kind of demeanor, we're pretty sure she is related tangentially to a character that we know. Not sure which character yet, but we will find out. All right, sweet, and we made it to the salt lines without any issues. Oh, maybe I tell a lie? No, I think we're good. Ah, I see there's a boat up there coming after us. Alrighty here. Okay, two basalt beasts, cathedral sides. They frowned eternally at each other from across black waves. The north one carries the remnants of an encampment, fraying and tattering in the wind. A supply dock stands empty below. Interesting. So since the last time we were here, something has happened to the camp. Where I guess it's just been abandoned. So let's pick over the encampment. From time to time, some entrepreneur attempts to continue the disassembly of the salt lines. Never ends well. Perhaps they've left something. So we don't know what happened here in the first place. Well, the last time we were here, I think it was the Unweavers or the Unmakers, something like that, were still kind of running perfectly well. So I wonder what happened to them. Maybe it has something to do with the Grand Geo delivery that we made. It could be that weird cult that came over here and did something to it, but nothing. A steady breeze blows from the north, ozone and ice. The false stars prickle above, the salt lines wait for their end. I guess there's really just nothing else to say. I guess we can compile the port report here. We seem very casual about the fact that this has gone from a seemingly bustling work camp to just an empty pile of ruins. Nothing remains witness, an end. Even time is halted here. Who comes to survey the ruins? I wonder what the Admiralty will have to say about that. Is this guy going to leave us alone? Yes. Alright, let's just head ourselves out of port. Uh-oh. I do want you to leave us alone here. I'll shut off lamps. Oh, he's questionably found us. I don't think he has. Okay, I think we're good. We are going to start traveling with our lights on, though, because our terror is a little high. Quite honestly, I don't know. I can't remember many places to reduce it considerably. Like, we could certainly send our crew ashore in certain locations, but I can't think of any free events that will reduce our terror by a whole lot. Wait, so what's dockable here? Is it a ship? What is this harbor down here? I am very confused. Is this a bug? Okay, then. Not sure what that's all about. Maybe that has something to do with the Submarine DLC. Maybe there's an underwater port there? I'm not entirely sure. How curious. I guess we just head north then. Looks like there's some more islands here with some sort of structure on them. Is this... No, this isn't Bonnie Reefs yet. Where are we? What is this? Stalagmites loom in the distance like cranes of Wolfstack's docks, but vaster, the Corsair's forest, our lookouts are watchful. Discovered Born Vadis Pillar. Okay, it doesn't look like there's any docking locations there. But it does look like there is a... Wow, so what is this? That looks like something dockable. An electric shiver to the air storm is watching. Okay. This must be something of value. Yeah, this is definitely a port. Discovered Guider's Morn. Okay. Have we never come across this before? I swear we've been looking for it in a whole lot of playthroughs, and I don't ever recall seeing something this factory like, or like sort of a military industrial factory area. Interesting. Well, I suppose we'll dock here. Are we looking for anything in Guider's Morn? Can't see anything on our list of tasks that we have written here. Guider's Morn. The Morn is a stalagmite vast as a crag, and its foot has no safe harbors. The Corsair's citadel nestles halfway up. An intricate system of winches takes the strain, and your ship rises slowly from the Z. Her hull creaks in protests. Grizzled sailors groan and cling to stanchions higher. Now the Untersee shimmers like glass below. Children clamber in crevices, cheer and wave alarmingly. The winch motor slows, and you hang in a cradle next to a red-bowed pirate cutter. Oh, we totally have been to Guider's Morn. This is the, I believe, the pirate area. Yes. And we have, if we choose to try to get a port report here, it does give us the possibility of failure and as well as losing sailors. So I actually don't think I will gather a port report. But it's nice that we actually found this. I believe in Guider's Morn, we will check our Seabound economy page here. I believe we already have the economy of this area, which involves a lot of illegal items. For instance, we can get plenty of souls. We can find a mirror catch box. That's for purchase. No, for sale rather than purchase, though. Firkins of red honey and a concealed compartment, which I assume would be important in smuggling. If we were to try to look for any illicit items to smuggle back and forth. But we've already got that down, so let's go and find some story in here. We could listen on Rumors of the Pirate Poet. I believe we did listen to that last time. Landlubbers fear pirates, pirates fear the poet. And it doesn't cost anything, I think. So let's listen here. Lies, nonsense, glimmers. Some say she's a clay man who freed herself with the power of verse. Possible. Others insist she's the personal muse of the king with 100 hearts. Unlikely. One claims she zails on a living ship made of the still screaming skulls of her victims. More sober voices mutter that no, it's just an Alcaeus class vessel. Alcaeus class. Something like that. Whatever the truth, few have fought her and survived to tell the tale. Only the bravest of captains risk the lonely parts of the Z where her flag is said to fly. Do we know where her flag is set to fly? Doesn't seem like it. So we could spend 50 echo to go get our terror down. Maybe a good option here. But it is a challenge, I think. Or we could try to gather that intelligence. Alternatively, we could just explore the Morn here. I don't want to drop 50 echo in this location. I don't think that whatever the terror boon would be worth it, especially as it's also a challenge, which we've got a greater than 50% chance of beating, but still don't think I want to risk that so early in this expansive voyage here. I think we will just explore the Morn instead. There's a surprising quantity of actual landscape on the Morn. It's vertical, admittedly, but once you find the beast paths and urchin roads, you can traverse it as you would a rocky moor, with an additional throatful of lurching terror. Oh, interesting. A view from above. A high place, the Z like a rippled sheet of night green jade. The roof of the neath above, bellied with stalactites and pricked with false stars. Look out across the water. What are you thinking of? So we can think about our future. From up here, your future looks glorious, if not exactly bright. We can think about our past as a soldier. The years before you came to Z, fighting the enemies of the reduced empire, losing good friends in the marshy borderlands of hell. Looks like that's going to maybe give us some iron. We can pray to either salt, storm, or stone. You know, the words to speak and hear, its eyes are on you. Or we could think about the wide black Z. So, shoot, I wish I knew whose attentions I had. I don't know what either of the symbols are. I believe this is salt, this represents storm, and this represents stone. But I don't know what this means. Oh, and I guess we either do not have storm's attention, or we do have storm's attention and we do not have salt or stone. I think we're going to go for our stats here. Let's go for your past as a soldier. Years before you came to Z, fighting the enemies of the reduced empire, losing good friends in the marshy borderlands of hell. New victories. In the army, you served men too rich to fight and too stupid to leave you alone. Out here, you are the only commander. The ship is your own empire. You've never felt stronger. Wow, we gained 5 iron from that? That's fantastic. That is a great amount of iron to get. We got a ton of iron now. Man, I wish we had this many veils when we were stuck with the Sphinx Stone on board when we needed to get up to Flit, which cost 75. That does not seem to be the case. Looks like now that we don't have the something awaits you, we can't gain any less terror here. Do we risk the challenge to get the port report from Guider's Morn? We've got less than a 50% chance of that. And I don't think we have enough zailors to risk that. But we do know where it is now, in case we are in the market for anything illicit. It looks like we could get solace fruit or concealed compartment. Everything else is simply to sell. So we'll keep heading north, I think. Hopefully we'll come across Port Cecil. Really need to determine one of those to call. Patrick's Lot is evidently the lighthouse that we saw earlier. I'll start to head back over here since we're so far out into the center of the ocean. There's a lot we haven't explored. Though I will try to keep out of this fog bank to our left. Oops. Okay. Ran into that a little bit. I thought we'd cleared that, but we were a little too close. Okay. We're back on the open Z. Looks like we are skirting through 2 different fog banks. There's one above us and one below us here. Maybe we'll head straight west. The world is webbed with invisible lines. You've crossed one. Tighten them and it would split like a fruit. Ooh. That's not a call we've heard before. And we've got our something awaits us back as well. Uh-oh. It seems like we're getting some terror here as well. We're too high of a terror for me to bother getting fragments from them. I think I'm just going to ignore them. Reduce a little bit of terror here. We're having the nightmares start up again. Wow, so none of these islands really looked like anything. Lots of fog in that area, though. We kind of skirted around this whole diamond, or a whole cross of an area here. I really thought we would run into something. Suppose that is closer by Fallen London, so we can adventure through it more easily. Perhaps on the way to looking for another area. Ooh, is this an island, or is this just another jagged rock here? Whoa, what is this to our left? Is that the Bonnie Reefs stuff? I think it is. Very pretty Bonnie Reefs. I swear I just watched a ship spawn in below us. That's okay, it's not headed in our direction, though. Okay, yeah, that it was just the Bonnie Reefs here. So we'll head out a little further east so we can scan the edges of our map. A whole lot of empty space up here. Not seeing a single island. Ooh, something out of the corner of my eye. Palmerston's Reach. There's brimstone on the wind. Okay, we finally found maybe where Mount Palmerston is. Shoot, I didn't do the math on how much we would need for the zoops. Alright, here it is, though. Mount Palmerston has been discovered. Okay, let's go talk to the devils up here. Maybe we've got a lot of supply. Maybe if they buy the supply, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to check out the economy down here. Just take a quick look here. If they buy supplies at a relative cost, doesn't look like they do. Okay, but they have the zoop here. So zoops for 70, we need 7 of them? Yes, we need 7 of them. 70 times 7 is 490. We are a ways off. I don't think even if we had sold a whole bunch of supplies, I don't think we'd have both enough supply to get back and enough supply and enough money to buy all the zoop we needed. Perhaps we can make a profit off of the Devil Bones dice and the ambiguous Eelith. Let's double check the economy here to see what they sell for back in Port Carnelian or Fallen London. So Devil Bones dice apparently sell for 20 echoes. They're bought for 19 here, so not much of a profit there. Ambiguous Eelis. I don't think that is on the market at all. No, I can't seem to have found it. Okay, so doesn't look like we can make any sort of profits on trades from this location to Fallen London. Fuel is cheap here, though. Do we buy here and try to keep sailing on with our supplies? Just going to double check the map here. We are pretty far north out here. This is the edge of the map, or just thereabouts. They said it's somewhere northeast of Fallen London. Maybe we could head south here and then clear out the cross. I don't want to leave too much of this map blanked out, though. As usual, I've kind of got patchwork completions of the map so far, and I don't know how big Port Cecil is. All right, let's just look at what we've got in front of us right now. So we could try heading up to the crater first. Might as well. We won't be able to make it there because the Brimstone Convention is all hell, and we get to talk to the wistful Deviless here. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but the road to the Brimstone Convention is paved with cinders. Up the road, do they admit visitors to the Brimstone Convention? Probably not, but you'll never know. You never know. They might sell tickets. Above the bay, look down and see Port Palmerston like a toy and the ruins like gravel. You've come far, but the volcano's cone still rears above you. Rest a little before you go the last half mile. Time to talk to the wistful Deviless. The road to the crater ends at a brass gate in the crater wall. Beside it stands an oddly charming little cottage. It's thrown together from pumice and basalt, but it features a honeysuckle. An equally charming Deviless in a tea gown leans against the cottage wall, twirling a parasol and fanning herself. I am the guardian of this place, she remarks languidly. You may not pass, but I can offer you a cup of armillaria. Tea with the Deviless. Armillaria, that's not one of the poisonous ones, is it? You're pretty sure it's not. And I think we will have a cup with the Deviless here. Terror in a tea gown. No doubt she'd be much less pleasant if you tried to break down that gate, but just now she's a courteous, soft-voiced woman in a tea gown. The tea is hot and nutty and rather pleasant. She asks about your voyages. She's desperate for news of London, of its mists, its nights, its sick, its poor, its fires. She tactfully turns aside questions of the convention about the convention, but she shares some of the secrets of the Neath. Come and see me again, she says. Next time you're here. She shrugs gracefully. Bring me a present if you'd like. And we know that she wants souls, I believe. Well, we're now acquaintances with the Wistful Deviless, and we got some fragments from it as well. So, it looks like there's a submarine quest here with the Veiled Woman. There's also an officer here, but we need bales of parabola linen to attract her attentions. The Merciless Modiste? Yeah, Merciless Modiste. Who increases veils, iron, and hearts. Okay, and then we can grab port reports or spend some supply to dig among the ruins. I don't think we'll take this option here. Let's chat to the port folk about the Brimstone Convention. There was a revolution in hell. The aristocracy of the devils fled here. Here they plot in exile. A shrug and a curse. They don't do us any harm. They stay up there, and we stay down here. If hell's fighting itself, that's good for all of us, isn't it? And thus we have a port report. Now, do we need Devil Bones dice for anything? There is, I believe it's Devil Bones dice and Stygian ivory trades for a forward weapon in the Iron Republic, but we don't have a forward slot on the ship. Maybe that's something we can look towards as we go through today on the stream. I think we can get a few more fuel here. Keep going around further east. I'd like to find one of the locations that we're looking for, at least Port Cecil. We are very far northeast of London, so I don't know if this is still within the area that was suggested to us when we talked to the Admiralty. It said northeast of Fallen London, so it gave us that type of location. I don't know if this is still considered within that reach, because this is a very distant area from Fallen London below us here. We are about half of the map across here, but I do want to keep looking for it, and fuel is cheap, so I think with the supply that we have, we've got enough to still sail around for a little bit. I think I'll buy up to, let's say, 14, 15 fuel. I think we should have enough provisions to make it that far. I think we'll go with 15. We'll just head south down here to clear out this blank space that we've found between our discovered zones. One thing that I do also need to keep an eye on is my terror. It is increasing up to about 70, so we'll need to keep our lamp on this whole time. But that'll also help us discover new areas here. Very surprised that... Okay, this has got to be a bug, because it says there's a harbor here. But there is no location for me to dock at. This must have something to do with the submarine stuff. Because it looks like there is some sort of crag there, which I assume is like some sort of underwater city, spire, something like that. So I guess we know not to trust the map in terms of harbors. I suppose we could trust Z-Bats, though. Surely Z-Bats don't identify underwater locations. Oh, something underwater to some distance to the northeast. Okay, so it does specifically tell us where that there are underwater locations. So we don't have to worry about them looking for them and having that be discovered. Or undiscoverable, rather. Okay, looks like there is a lighthouse ship. Let's go dock and talk to them. We do have recent news. We do not need to buy fuel at probably absurd costs. Yeah, double the cost. Let's speak to them. They long for news of home. Tea beneath the light and the bleaching glare of the lens among the smells of oil and metal, you sip tea and chat. The Z's terror recedes. Lovely, we received a Z story and lost quite a bit of terror. Well, 5 terror. It's a decent bit. should be good enough here. Okay, shall we head kind of diagonally this way? I think we shall. We'll send out our Z-Bat. We kind of haven't been using them so much. Yeah, no islands there. So maybe we'll head around the east side of Guider's Morn, around this fog embankment here. Looks like there's a lamp. Okay, that's just a sea lamp. Surely, I feel like we should be running into the Connate sometime soon, because we are quite a ways, we're just about in the center of the map here. Maybe we need to head a little further south. But it was described that they were somewhere in the sea's center. The Z's center. No islands in the bat's range. It's totally fine. We've cleared up this area here. So we'll head a little further east. Just so we can start clearing out this section, these sections of the map here. What is this? Alright, of course there's forest stuff. Something underwater a distance to the east. Oh yeah, that looks like something underwater for sure. Alright, no more islands. So I feel as though that is discovered Chantric Lobe. Interesting. I assume this is more Guider's Morn stuff? Yeah, it looks like it. We'll just keep sending our Z-Bat out here. As far as I can tell, there's no penalty for doing so. Port Cecil, some distance to the east. Perfect. Okay, that's not terribly far. Let's go do that. The Principles of Coral. The corpse rainbow glow from beneath the water. The waves echoes the false stars above. Discovered Royal Complexus. Not sure. Okay, so that's this island over here. Found Port Cecil. Discovered Scott's Reef as well. I think we'll swing around north. Yeah, that looks like where the actual port is. Though it is in a fog bank. Uh-oh. Whoa, what is that? Albino Murray. Can I dock? Can I make it? Uh-oh. Okay, we can dock. We made it. Port Cecil. Let's pick one. Let's pick Cecil. Yeah. We've decided on Cecil. So, now that we're here, first things first, write down the economy. The economy is nothing. Well, at least we know that they'll buy and sell at market rate. Market rates outside of Fallen London. So, let's see, Cecil. Fuel for 20 echoes, and the cells for 1, naturally. And supplies also at 30 echoes, and cells for 5. Pretty traditional. Ooh, pretty sure this is new music. I haven't heard this one before. Alright, Port Cecil. Rumpled convolutions of coral fill the water, glimmering with silvery light. The harder you look, the more you see shapes amid the chaos, almost as if they were sculpted. This one could be a crenellated castle, that one a horse's head. A neat little port huddles into the side of a coral island. Prosaic imperial docks and houses tucked away in a baroque organic chaos. In that curious silvery light, among the frozen chaos of the coral, the scene has an unreal air of a pencil sketch, crumpled and discarded. Alright, so we have the revolutionary thing. I don't know. I don't think it'll be locked out here. I have no clue who he's here to murder. Or here to target. We don't necessarily know that he's here to murder somebody. Apparently we can go for chess. Chess is popular in the principles. The port is full of exiles, drunks, and washed-up Z traders. They all play, often obsessively. Be careful, the chess pieces are carved from Centillic. Here in the principles, that can be very dangerous. What is the principles? I guess that's this area? Not sure. But we do have a 100% chance of doing whatever that happens to be. We could explore the coral knot around Port Cecil. Sea laps dark around silvery coral. Humps and columns rise from the coral. A bewildering maze. Go carefully. We've got our contact in the labyrinth. I somehow doubt that this would conflict with the Nomic Gallivant, but I don't know who he's here to target. So I am a little worried. The Admiral gave you directions to take to meet your contact. Left, right, down, into the labyrinth of coral outside Port Cecil, over the silvered vein, past the castellations to the unfinished court. Interesting. We can put a Blemmigan ashore. We can sell our Apossian chess piece. Hold on a minute. Apossian. Yeah, that's... Okay, that's one of the colors that we're looking for. Interesting. Or we could gather Centillic, but that is with mirrors here. And takes up our something awaits us. And we only have a 30% chance of doing that anyway. The best of the coral will fetch a high price in London, but walk the reefs of the principles and you risk delusion and despair. Take your crew and go carefully. I think not. So I think we'll take the safer paths first. Let's gather some intelligence. What happens here? Chess, dreams, silver light. The older inhabitants of Port Cecil carry coral and crustaceans like a disease, splotched with silvery light. They like to go up into the limestone heights behind the harbor, to lay their heads against the pillars and towers, stare at the roof of the Neath, dream open-eyed. Sometimes they speak of things far away, like Connate's work, the Smuggler Wars, the Fathom King's secrets. Perhaps it's not all invented. Interesting. And then I think we should be safe to reach out to our Admiral's contact here. Rubbery Torment. Here is a rubbery man, one of the squid-faced bipedal things that infest the sadder hovels of fallen London. It looks ill or infected. The pearly glow of the coral throbs from a seam along its shoulder, and its arms pulses in its face fronds. Utheruth, it pipes cheerfully. It hands you a page of notes smeared with tangerine goo. Can rubbery men write? The hand is elegant and disciplined, times and dates precisely recorded. We've got another strategic information. Do we have multiple strategic informations? We can turn something of this, but we need a move in the Great Game, which we don't currently have, or we need to hire mirrors, which we also don't have. We've only got 32. Maybe we should work on raising our mirrors then. How many secrets do we currently have? 12 secrets. That would be able to get us to the 40 required to turn these strategic informations into other things with our Memories of Distant Shores or the Z stories. I think it would be the Memories of Distant Shores that we would go to, rather. Though we only have one strategic information, so it would be pointless to do either of these. Okay. What is he here to do? I don't know. We don't have any images of the Nomic Gallivant. I assume that's just a description of his character. Surely he's not a gnome. Does Nomic have a different meaning? Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I've got no clue. So we can assist him in his revolutionary scheme. There's a door carved in the crenellated castle. The Gallivant holds a gaily wrapped package in his arms. A long string trails out of it. This is it, sir. Steel yourself and get the door for me, please. Alternatively, we can refuse to assist him. Not as keen to clear the board as he is. I don't know what he's doing here. It seems like a bomb. The description would seem to intend to tell us that he has a bomb in his arms, but I don't know anything about this area. I don't know. I do not know. He seems pretty much on the up and up. Like, he hasn't murdered anybody like the other passenger we have picked up previously. Let's help him. Let's put ourselves out on the out on a limb for him. The right person, place, and time. Beyond the door is a long hall of chess tables. A dark man from the presbyterate sits alone in the center of the room, playing against himself. The Gallivant pulls the package's string. 1,000 years is more than enough, don't you think? He tosses it into the room before slamming the door. An explosion knocks it from its hinges, crashing between you both. You peek into the room. The man is as dead as any of the pieces. The immortal man is dead. Whoa. Well, we've got vital intelligence. 1,000. The immortal man? What? I'm so confused. Apparently there was an immortal man. Apparently he was 1,000 years old. And apparently we just murdered him. We've gained vital intelligence, though. Wow. Okay. The Nomic Gallivant's request. The Nomic Gallivant dusts off his suit. So ends 1,000 years. I've one last appointment, sir, in King Eater's castle. Time is a cage, and I'm anxious to get there as swiftly as you'll allow. What the heck? What did I just do? Agree to deliver him to King Eater's castle. You've already come this far together. See it through to the end. I think that's the option I'm going to take. Because I need to get to King Eater's castle anyway. This man is... what I assume is a man is nuts. We've gotten so little description of who he is, who or what he is. And evidently we just helped him complete his master plan here. We can't even talk to him. He's not an officer or anything. We've apparently altered the board in some way. The Nomic Gallivant embraces you like a comrade. Absolutely delightful. You have helped my master pen a happier history for us all. I'll be sure to tell him of your assistance when we reach the castle. What the heck was that? I'm so confused. Okay, chess though. Evidently, we can find an Apossian chess piece. Presumably by winning here. Let's try to play for it, and we'll give it to the first curator. I think is the one we were looking for. I can't remember. The man in Venderbite, who was very, very old, very moth afraid. Let's give it a try. Chess is popular in the principles. The port is full of exiles, drunks, and washed-up Z traders. They all play often obsessively. Be careful, the chess pieces are carved from scintillic here in the principles. That can be very dangerous. A disciplined success. Odd thoughts bubble up each time you touch a chess piece. This one longs for home. That one has a secret desire for revenge against the slayer of its rank mate. This will be a queen one day. Those would do better as metal. You taste the metal. You ignore these thoughts and move methodically to a victory over your opponent. He blinks. Checkmate, he asks helpfully. Win enough games and something else will occur. Oh, we're actually getting pages for that as well. Fantastic. And evidently the coral is changing. And it's getting a little more difficult each time here. I suppose we might as well play until we lose, until we can no longer do that. Yeah, I think we'll just keep playing until we lose. Same deal. We've gained some more pages, and some more fragments here. All right, a 46% chance here. We can do it here. Hopefully, if we fail, it won't result in anything too terrible, since it does seem to just be chess. Ah, a loss. Your opponent shakes your hand. Time to go, she tells you, but don't worry, you'll be back. Her touch lingers. Her fingers are cold. Oh my goodness, and we gained some terror for some reason. We just lost a chess game. What? Come on. Don't tell me we've gained terror because we lost a chess game. That's ridiculous. All right, we can gather some scintillic, but I don't think we will do that since we only have a 30% chance of success. We will simply explore the coral knoll around Port Cecil. Sea laps dark around silvery corals. Humps and columns rise from the coral, a bewildering maze. Go carefully. In amber, some disturbance of the undersea has brought sunken ruins up out of the water. but these stones were lost beneath more than the sea. They are half encased in a smooth, translucent orange substance like amber. Even as you watch the ruins groan and shiver, the convulsions that brought them up will soon take them below again. We could check out the ruins. We've got about an 80% chance here. Or we could just chip some of the amber here. It's very like the deep amber sold in London, the stuff the squid-faced rubbery men exude. This may be a good haul. Since we have such a high chance here, I think we'll try to go a little further. We'll examine the ruins. The amber encasing the ancient stones is cracked under the grinding pressures of the earth. You could scramble in and examine them. Of their bones. You squeeze through the fissures in the amber shell to explore the ruins within. The dwellings are low and windowless, thick-walled, flat-roofed, like those in desert countries. Nothing like anything underneath. You find shattered bones, glass beads, and shattered pots, glass beads, and bones, all mired in amber. Something wrong about these bones, one of your zailors mutters uneasily, a seasoned woman with little surgeon's training. She's right, the shape of the skull is not precisely human. The arm bones have splayed out like twigs off a branch. Another exclaims as he finds the bones of a small animal coiled together like knots of serpents. Shapelings, someone hisses. You think that's what they say, but none of your crew will admit to speaking. There's a rumbling from below. You all scramble desperately for the exits in the amber casing, squeezing through one by one just in time. The amber snaps shut and the ruins sink again beneath the waves with a tremendous roar and show of foam. Interesting. Well, we succeeded in the challenge. We gained 20 fragments. Shapelings. Presumably they're like shapeshifters. It's a shame we didn't get anything from it. I thought we would at least get some extra amber or like an artifact or something. But I guess that's not the case. We already lost in chess, so we won't give it again, especially since it gives us terror to do. We've got enough fuel and supplies. I think we'll start heading back in sort of a circuitous route here. Probably head a little south. Maybe we can head south such that we can reach to Pigmote Isle. Maybe get on approximately on that level. Oh, lights off, lights off. We don't want to anchor that moray. We do need to very much watch out with our terror, though, because we're getting very high. Luckily, we do have a lot of iron in this character, so we can hopefully succeed. Oh, another shark. I think he's far enough out of the way that he won't bother us, though. Discovered the aphotic quills. Interesting. I don't want this shark to start attacking us here. He is facing in our direction. I think we're good. I think we're good. Oh, another eel, of course. Whoa. What's this place? Watch for fungal pads in the Sea of Lilies. There's a prison here guarded by knot oracles. Ooh. Interesting. It seems like there's something big off to our east. Oh, but that'll bring us in range of this moray. Alright, he's tied on us here. Let's send ourselves... Whoa, how can you turn so fast, buddy? Please lose track of me. Well, we found the location for our shady cook. Are those giant frogs on the Isles? Discovered wisdom. Discovered Noop Mid Harbor. Okay, found a new location. More than that, we found a location that our crew is interested in here. Our shady cook. Do we have another cook? Yes, we have the bandaged poissonnier now. Okay. Wisdom. The prison walls are mercilessly steep. Noopmid built this place as a prison for the Khanate. Now it only answers to its governor, and its governor answers to no one. Let the shady cook go ashore. Warrakuva Prince. Prison. I don't know what that means, he says dangerously. Let me sither to... All right, let's think of this as if we were slurring. We're a crew of prisons. We're a cover prison. Let me Sithertoe. I don't know. Honestly, as nice as the Shady Cook is, he doesn't give very many stats. This kind of seems to be his only thing here. We get to rescue a prisoner. Or ransom a prisoner here. But wow, 3,000 echo, that's ridiculous. We don't know anything about it though. But let's let the Shady Cook go ashore. What the heck? A warm welcome. Oh yes, the unctuous fellow assures you. Unctuous fellow. Why do I know that word, that name? Have we run into an unctuous somebody before? Curious. Anyway, oh yes, the unctuous fellow assures you, we value enthusiasm over formal qualifications. The not oracles are always hungry, but they are also delicate in their tastes. Their meals must be prepared assiduously. I understand this fellow is indentured to you. Well, we have collected tremendous stores of knowledge from the oracles. Tremendous. Let me give you some of my notes. And we will, of course, replenish your stores. Thank you so much. The cook darts eagerly into the prison as soon as the doors are open. He doesn't even say goodbye. Gain 5 supplies, 5 fuel, a secret strategic information, 5 tales of terror, 5 Z stories, 5 memories of distant shores, 5 visions of the surface, and 1 move in the great game. Wow. Well, I mean, I guess we completed his quest line. Apparently, all he wanted to do was get to the Sea of Lilies and become a cook for the prison. I guess. Well, it doesn't look like we have any more options here. We'll go compile a port report here, watch the comings and goings. Not so many goings. Ships from the Khanate are most common, but you see Chelenite vessels, polythreme triremes with chained and sulky unfinished men, corsairs disposing of their miscreants, and even one furtive Iremi skiff. Ah, Irem is somewhere around then. The wardens pay them well for their prisoners. Curious. Is there anything in the shop here? Doesn't look like it. Well, we do know that Wisdom has a pretty standard economy, though this is tied to the Khanate. So I thought it would be a little more strange. I guess they all keep the same outside of Fallen London traditional price here. Fuel bought at 20 echoes and sold for standard 1. Supplies for 30. And sold for 5. Maybe a little pointless to write this information down, but it's nice to know where in an absolute pinch you have the possibility of purchasing more fuel and supplies, even if it is at a extensive markup, because some locations don't give you that option. And evidently there's another dock up there. I feel like that's probably underwater. I don't want to head in that direction, even though we do have the ability, the fuel supplies now, and supplies to head up there. Maybe I'll send a Z-Bat in that direction. Maybe that'll tell me what's over there. Uh-oh. Something underwater. Okay, so I was correct. There's a nasty, very large shark. Okay, but it looks like he's turning away. And we've got lilies to block us here. Visage is some distance to your southwest. Interesting. Let's go check out what Visage is. The name sounds familiar, so we may have come across it in a different playthrough. Discovered Flourishing and Visage. Flourishing of Years. The false stars above are feral amber like tiger's eyes. Stanford's Expanse, named for one who lost his child to cats. Whoa. Yeah, that's a face if I've ever seen one. All right. Wow, that's neat. Discovered Kalpaka Cove. Alright, so our terror's at 78. We're getting very high there. We need to get rid of that somehow. Maybe just by going back to Fallen London to reduce it there. Visage. Okay, I think I would have remembered if I'd come across an island with a face on it before. So I don't think that is the case that we've come across it before. Perhaps we've heard it from somewhere before. I've also forgotten to cross out our Port Cecil requirements here. We've done the Shady Cook's quest for the Sea of Lilies as well. All we've got left is Scissor-ridden Navigator's Chapel of Light, somewhere in the north part of the map. Our Father's Bones and King Eater's Castle, and the Merchant Venturer's stuff. Okay. Well, let's go check out Visage. Hide your face. Hide all your faces. This is the port of Visage, where faces may not be naked, except one, a stone monument the size of a village church, serenely gazing upward, flourishing of years. We've got another submarine sort of deal. We can create a port report here. Let's do that first. Let's double check the shops. We don't have anything yet. Maybe once we go inside, we shall. So let's create a port report first. You can at least interview those who are leaving. That will have to do. A departing merchant gives you a confused account of crocodiles and honeycakes and something about ear blockage. To this, you add your own impressions about the street layout close to port and the types of commerce here. When the lights are especially bright, it is possible to make out the details of the profile that the details of the profile of that great stone face. Once you step foot on Visage, you might be here for a little while. Did we do it? I'm concerned about our terror. We're already so high right now. We're one terrible roll away from having a mutiny occur. And with our crew amount, I'm going to risk it. Oh, I shouldn't. But I will. Okay. Terms. All those who enter must play their parts. The sign is visible only after you've crossed the threshold. Ashore in Visage. On the lower slopes, stone buildings, flat roofs, archways. In the architecture, there lingers a memory of lotus and palm frond. The hill above is a face, forever looking up at the ceiling of the Untersee. No one inhabits its cheeks or the hollows of its eyes. Check in at the customs house. One may not wander Visage at will. A changing room. All visitors must pass one by one through a room guarded by a person in the mask of a moon moth. Okay. So, let's ask about the significance here. I don't think it would be a good idea to go about without any mask. It seems the local customs here dictate that you have to have a mask. So I want to ask what the significance of them are so we can make an educated choice here. Maybe there's more to it than a question of aesthetic taste. Assorted pestilences, Moonmoth explains. Each mask declares a different intention towards the denizens of Visage and must be accompanied by suitable behavior. The frog is for visitors who, though perhaps clumsy and unfamiliar with local etiquette, have come in order to observe the local ways and make uncouth comments about them. The locust is for those who would seek profit in Visage and would carry away as many goods as possible. You prompt about the bat. Moonmoth hesitates. Bat is an ill-omened visitor, sent as a messenger or a spy. Bat always dies. Okay, it was a good idea that we asked. We're not going to choose bat. We don't have a ton of echoes, but I think let's choose the frog. It seemed like the frog was for visitors specifically, and I hope that we'll be able to change our mask out when we return later. If we do end up returning with some extra echo here. Let's choose the frog mask. It looks curious. Moonmoth lifts the mask and places it over your head. The eye holes are large and they are fitted with spectacles. These improve your view of the environment, though you must look bulb-eyed from the outside. There is also a mechanism attached to the mouthpiece which magnifies any sound you make, even your breathing. You start to thank the moon moth, and it comes out as a booming croak. May you profit from your visit in knowledge, says moon moth. Its wings fold neatly over its back. Okay, so we now have the frog mask. Visage, expertise, and parts hasn't changed because it's lower than 3. Curious. Okay, so it looks as though the masks probably dictate where you're allowed to go here, since it said we were going here for knowledge, and it looks like we've only got access to the Library of Parts, so-called because all books are fragmentary, perhaps, or the Flood Court. The Moon Moth speaks as though you should already know what that is. Neither of these seem like locations where you do any sort of trading here. Perhaps the Flood Court is that sort of thing. Okay, well, perfect. I want to explore more about this in terms of knowledgeability anyway. Seems like an extensively long word to say. I just really want to know more about this place. Ashore and Visage. On the lower slopes, stone buildings, flat roofs. Right, okay, so this is just being ashore. So let's go visit the library first. Stoop at the lintel, enter the dark. A room of heavy stone guarded by a gold statuette of a woman with outstretched arms. The scroll niches, niches sorted to correspond to a variety of masks. The jackal and the lioness, the crocodile and dung beetle. A woman in the mask of a lotus blossom is standing at a lectern reading in silence. So none of these are our masks here. Perhaps we have to get a little bit more familiar with the location. Well, let's go check out what is here anyway. Moonmoth stands to one side as your escort and tour guide. Ask about the purpose of the room. What sort of parts are they anyway? Study the scrolls in a bumbling way. They look very old after all. Steal the most valuable-looking scroll for a later sale. Not very frog-like. That's also a challenge, a Veils challenge to steal it. Or write notes in the margins if your frog glove will hold a pen, that is. Let's ask about the room in a bumbling sort of... Or no, not in a bumbling sort of way. Just a general sort of way. Filed under M for masked. Moonmoth explains. People think it means something like Library of Fragments, but this is wrong. The parts in question are like parts in a play. This is where the denizens of Visage come in order to learn how to perform their masks more accurately, more completely, with a truer spirit. Okay, interesting. So this is sort of the... I guess it's not a script. It's probably a identification room, like a description of the ways of each mask, maybe a history room. Suppose we can study the scrolls in a bumbling way so we know how to more accurately act like a frog, since we're a frog right now. Yeah, we are a frog, right? Yeah, we're a frog. They look very old after all. Hearts guarded. Taking theirs, you read it aloud. For guarding against the loss of the heart. Moonmoth takes it from you, rolls it tightly, and returns it to its niche. There are as many ways of guarding against the loss of the heart as there are different masks, it explains, in that same light and indifferent voice. I guess we weren't supposed to read that? We now have a Visage, expertise, and parts. Knowledge of roles and how they are to be played. Okay. Well, I guess we got kicked out of there. Can we go back here and... Do we want to write notes in the margin? That seems like a poor idea. Can't actually... Nope, we can't actually get out of here. Well, I guess let's pick the last option here. Write notes in the margins. I'm worried that this will... Well, we are a frog, right? We're supposed to be bumbling, according to our mask's description. Halt there. Moonmoth is startled. Apparently no other frog has gone so far as to attempt to deface the library's holdings. It gets the pen away from you, expostulating. Later you find it writing down a record of what you just did, to be added to the Library of Parts, a recollection of what can be expected from frogs. Oops. Okay. Well, we know that we're getting some more Visage. Ooh, something that we had when we encountered and I think killed some Z-beasts is we didn't have we could do something because we didn't have visages. So maybe killing Z-Beasts teaches us something about the parts that we can play. Maybe their parts. So maybe we can get access to more masks. We definitely pissed off that moon moth, though, by writing in the books. I think we may have just given frogs a bad name. Suppose let's go visit the Flood Court. From the name alone, I assume that I would be familiar with it as a frog. Frogs, floods, that sort of thing. High water, the Flood Court is a long stone room with 2 ranks of columns on either side. Currently, the court is ankle deep in water, though water stains on the stone show that the flood has often reached higher, sometimes up to the height of your waist. In a raised niche at the far end of the room sits a statue of a man with the head of a ram. He holds a jar from which water flows out onto the floor. Curious. So we know too well to try to steal the statue's jug or spy on the other occupants. Let's go ask about the purpose of the room. Doesn't really look as though it's good for anything. Depth per day. From a corner, Moonmoth picks up a graduated stick. He shows you how a person standing at the end of the room may dip the stick into the water and use it to measure the water level at a pre-selected point, and how the measurements are compared with measurements written on a calendar. If the water level does not match the calendrical position, an assembly of pipes and drains is used to adjust it. It used to be, says the moth, that the water rose and fell of its own accord, and the people before wrote down what height it reached. Now the water is still, but thanks to their actions we can replicate the rise and fall so as still to be pleasing to the god of flood. It completes its exclamation with a half-body bow towards the statue of the ram deity. Interesting. This seems like a bad thing to do, considering the bottom option in the last room was bad, or so I would think. I think we will show Oofus enthusiasm for the wonderful indoor pool. Frogs like pools, right? Croak. You exclaim at how much you admire this room and its excellent pool. Your words are, as always, amplified into a croak. Other masks turn towards you, crocodile, lotus blossom, crescent moon, but no one speaks. You've garnered a suitable degree of disdain. Moonmoth quietly applauds your performance of froghood. All right, we know... We know that we've been correctly buffooning things. Moonmoth seems to be a role that explains things to us. So if we were to trade our mask with Moonmoth, that would result in us maybe getting access to more information, or it would give us the ability to, or it give us the responsibility to take care of somebody else new. And I don't think I know enough about that to risk that sort of thing. I think that we're going to end our performance and leave the island here. Perhaps next time we come back, we'll try to pick up the... Oh, shoot, what was it? Not the bat. The other option, so we can do some trading. But for now, we'll just leave. End your performance and leave the island. You can't stay in character forever. A shame about the moth. You say farewell to the moon moth. It makes gestures that you now recognize as agitation. Perhaps there was some other plan for you here, but no one consulted you about it. You have other things to attend to. Your last sight of visage, the moth smoothing the folds from your robe and hanging your mask on a peg for the next visitor. I hope I haven't done something wrong. But we now know what this location is, so we can always return to it. I think we're just going to head straight across to Pigmote Isle. This is sort of the center area of the map, so maybe we'll encounter the Khanate here. Right, I'll just double check in case that ship has some nasty intentions for us. Hopefully, if we sail kind of diagonally up towards Pigmote, it'll be... We'll encounter something there, perhaps. We'll send out our Z-Bat at regular intervals as well. No islands, doesn't look like. Discovered Elfhouse Rift. Nope. And a moray. The Promised Sea. All through this place, the song of the Drownies lies shivering sweet along the wind. Drownies. Where have I heard that before? I think there was a drowny... Where was that? In Codex? In Wither? There was a drowny that would have elicited our attention should we have a submarine. We don't know what drownies are. But evidently we are in their territory. It's very poorly discovered territory. Shepherd's Wash, the salty hinterland of London, home to hermits, nuns, eyeless dolphins. Oh, and we've discovered Station 3. Okay, perfect. Well, this should give us some information as to the submarine sonar, which I think is just about our last step in getting that done. Okay, Station 3. We may infer a Station 1 and a Station 2. We may conjecture a Station 4. And I think Station 4 was... I think somebody in the Salt Lions was like, no, we're not quite Station 4. Maybe that was some other location. All right, no shops available. Let's go check out the location. Station 3. Machinery hums behind high steel walls. Up the hill, there are visible outlines of warehouses and a building with a spire. But the lamps are low where they burn at all, and your ship the only one in the harbor. Search Shed 12, along a low building propped against a wall, boarded windows, a rustling padlock. So that looks like our submarine stuff. This unlocks a port report, training your telescope on shore. Might be best to get a look from a distance, or we can deliver a long box. But we don't have that. We have picked this up in previous playthroughs. We have picked it up, and it'll just sit in our hold. Curious. Curious. Fascinating. Oh, we could actually turn this into another vital intelligence, I do believe. Oh, though we have two. We've got a lot from dropping off our cook there. Okay. First things first, let's go get a look at the location. Church or something else? You stand on a high point of your ship and look to shore. There's a steepled building on the horizon, by far the largest thing in sight. No cross marks the top of it, nor any other symbol you recognize. We've got the port report. All right, and now let's go get our submarine sonar. Your bosun shatters the lock with a ball-peen hammer. Inside, your lamps reveal dust-choked workbenches strewn with discarded tools, shelves of cardboard boxes filled with rivets and bolts, washers and screws. Blackboards roughly scrubbed. Here's an old lunchbox. It's half-eaten sandwiches encased in successive generations of an exciting fungus. Ew. In a rusted filing cabinet, you find the documents you need. A folder of tea-stained research into Sonar. You leave the rotting workshop quietly and return to your ship. Next time you sneeze, your handkerchief comes away black with the workshop dust that crept into your lungs. Okay. We've got just enough here to just enough to make our submarine. So we could try the gate here. We don't have the long box to get in, but I suppose this will tell us if there's anybody here. Try the gate. The only way past the walls is an unimposing but sturdy-looking gate of triple-barred silvery metal. A sign beside it reads deliveries. No way in. The metal is steel-hard and icy cold to the touch. Attempts with chisels and crowbars fail. Perhaps if you could bring the ship's guns to bear, but no. Okay. Well, I suppose we may as well check for other signs of visitors. It's a tough challenge, but I don't think it will cause injury to us. We're not trying to break in or anything. Never hurts to know what you're up against. Let's give it a shot. No evidence. You walk the quays looking for any little sign that might show what sorts of ships dock here and what they might deliver, and what they deliver. But you find nothing conclusive, not even so much as a smear of pitch or a damp footprint. If any ship but yours has been tied up here in recent days, it has left no evidence. Curious. Okay. Well, no shop here. But we have finished up our research for the submariner here. I wonder if we head to Con Shadow, if it'll give us anything else. I somehow doubt it, so I'm going to cross out the whole entry for a quest here. We have definitely found this location safely. Let's go set off, keep heading over to Pigmoat Isle here. I'm surprised we haven't run into anything from the Conite. This is actually a little far out for what I thought the Admiralty's interest would lie, for where I thought they would lie. I thought they'd be a little closer to the west of the map, and this is definitely in Conite territory, or so I would assume. Perhaps this is the edge here of Conite territory. So what is this? This is a massive island. Discovered Abbey Rock. The Sisterhood. Oh, so this is the Abbey here. Westergren's Fire. That's probably the lighthouse. Am I zoomed in or anything? No. Okay, I guess it just discovers things slightly out of my field of range. But we have discovered the Abbey again. Okay, let's go dock. Double check, nothing from the shops. Perfect. Abbey Rock. Here the Grim Sisters' lair. I guess it's using lair as a verb there. Abbey Rock, a black spit of an island far from anywhere anyone would want to go. And that's how the Sisterhood likes it. Here stands their fortress convent. There are bear traps that look friendlier than this. So we could trade a strange catch for a consignment of Centillic. Evidently, time has passed to day 50, or to day 66. This is after day 50. We could trade supplies. We get 20 echoes for them, which would actually be a 1-to-1 trade. We don't have any recent news, so I think they just send us off here. Or we could search the surroundings. Can't be the first to come here. Let's compile a port report, I think, at first. It's unlikely to be eventful. As always, nothing is happening. The sisters watch us. We feel their eyes. The sea crashes on the rocks, withdraws. The fortress stands stolid as the last year of a century. The greatest peril you risk here is a certain purpleness of prose. Let's search the surroundings here. Can't be the first to come here. A map, a mask, the face beneath. Someone died here, far from home, long enough ago that their flesh is gone. A visager, by the look of their frog mask. That mask will be worth a bit. The skull would look good on a mantelpiece. And what's this map? Ooh, we have a chart here, a revelatory chart, a lamentable relic, and a outlandish artifact. Once per game, something pleasant will happen. Okay, so I guess that's our beginner's luck used up. Ooh, but we have gotten 5 terror from that. Okay. Let's just go watch the convent with our something weights us might as well. Dangerous training. Like huge and deadly herons, the sisters stalk along the very tops of the walls. You watch through a spyglass as they leap and whirl, slashing at each other with a variety of frightening weapons. God, one of them just turned a somersault. They're ninja nuns? Okay, I thought this was just a very well-guarded nunnery, but apparently they're soldiers as well. Sadly, we don't have a hunting trophy to reduce terror with. But yeah, our terror is real high. We need to get ourselves home pronto. Let's get ourselves turned out here. Could take down this Jilly Fleur. Keep backing up, keep backing up, keep backing up. Okay, no damage taken from that combat. Can we grab something? So we can let it disperse. I have a port report from Visage. We can let it disperse in a different way. Curious. So this was what I was talking about with the Visage stuff. We don't need the supplies at the moment, so I want to see what this gives us here. Watch its oil rainbow colors fade. It looks very like Flourishing of Years, the grand shrine of the shrine face of Visage. Something about the eyes, the sternness of the mouth. Perhaps only that it stares at the roof as the Flourishing of Years does. Now it dissolves. Oh, we've gotten a Z story from that. Okay. Well, we know that we can get Z stories from that. now that we've been to Visage, I guess. Yeah, I think we're just going to start heading back here. Head to Pigmoat Isle. We talked... Oh, no, we didn't talk, rather, to anybody in the Salt Lines, because Salt Lines is gone. They are completely disappeared somehow. And we have entered the snares. So that must be this area. But I don't... There aren't any big islands here. Maybe it's this one? Unsure. Not quite sure about it. Home. Warmly lit windows. Company peace. Thoughts of home come at the strangest times. I think that's just the flavor text for something awaits us, which we will now use at Pigmoat Isle. Perfect. Hail Murinia. How are you doing? You guys are still completely nuts here. Go grab a port report to deliver to the Admiralty, even though they'll laugh at us. Let's go let them resolve a dilemma here. I don't want to steal the Rat Star, the Blue Scintillate. I know that it could be Prepausian. Oh, you know what? We don't need that anymore. We've got the Chess Island. We've got... is that Port Cecil? I think it was Port Cecil that we can now get our chess piece at. Our Apossian chess piece. So we no longer need to steal them. Perfect. Fantastic. All right, let's go resolve a dilemma here. An aid runs over. Hairless advisor, you return to us. Praise the tide. We need your wisdom once again. An aid hurries you to the depths of the chicken woods, where the woods are particularly dark and foreboding. It wrings its paws. Hairless advisor, we had hoped never to ask for this. We swore to stand on our own paws, but our supplies are running short, and we desperately need your help and your discretion. So we can donate some supplies. 5 should be enough to help them here. I think we should be able to get back with 3. It'll be a little low, but I think we should have enough to help them out and make it back safely. Let's give it to them. A careful delivery. The aid meets you at the ship with a pair of trusted assistants. None are used to manual labor, and they can barely pull the small, heavily loaded cart. They squeak in first in appreciation, and then with exhaustion as they drag it away to the town gates. Oh. Oh no. Okay. I thought we lost some civilization, but no, we've actually picked some up. We've raised both civilization and spirit, and we've gotten some fragments as well. So, price for repairs is going down. We've only got 1 missing though. Okay, but that's great. The town's doing a little well. We were there at the time when they needed supplies, but we did manage to give it to them, and that has raised both their morale and their civilization up just a bit. All right, you keep going, Pigmoat Isle. You keep doing things. All right, but now we've got to make for home kind of quick-like. We'll sail... Let's sail around here, and we'll try to clear out both of these blank spots. We'll have definitely enough fuel to do that, and I think we should have enough supplies to do that too. I just want to clear out all of these blank spots on the map here, because there are a lot of them, and I feel like they should be in areas that we've already cleared out. Maybe they're returning because things are changing, though. Not 100% sure. Oh, looks like there's the Dubois Maelstrom. A giant crab that we don't want to deal with right now. Though we're gaining terror at a perturbably high rate without it. Okay, I think we're all right. All right, perfect. And we've cleared out that blank spot there. Lick a Monkey Crag. Still a weird name. We've already discovered it. We didn't get any discovery for it. I wonder why this area was blanked out here. It must be because something's changing. It must be. Labyrinth of Eels. Still just more, I'll call it flavor area. Alright, we've reached that sort of black area that it says we have not discovered yet. I do wish to prove them indescribably wrong. Yep. There's absolutely nothing of interest here. We'll sail around this fog bank. Maybe we'll stop off at Mutton Island. Hold up, was that the blank spot on Mutton Island? We've definitely been there before. Okay, we'll check on on Quaker's Haven on Mutton Island. I feel... Ooh, wait. I feel as though they're about to do their cannibalism thing. We've got a lot of terror right now. Okay, I may have a mutiny coming up after this. Okay, so we'll get the port report with the money. They're still all happy. They're not doing the, not doing the cannibalism thing yet, as far as we can see. Drinks at the Cock and Magpie. Let's explore along the shore. Disembarking from a stony bay, you watch as a swift corvette draws into the harbor. The men and women on board are dressed in naval uniform, and they walk as though they were balancing the good book on their heads. And though the gas lamps on the dock blaze as if to burn the work, not a sailor squints. That must be the people from the Grand Geo down here. That totally matches their description. So the Grand Geode is actually here. Are they tied into the cannibalism thing? Was the cannibalism thing because I didn't deliver to the Grand Geode before? Oh, man. That's super curious. Wait, and that also didn't use up our something awaits us here. Alright. No. Yeah, no. Okay, that's probably bugged then. I suppose let's let's visit the hilltop above town. I assume that it will do not too much here. Yeah, pretty much just the standard thing. We find the cliff top, we see smoke from a chimney, then it disappears, and there's screaming kind of from the wind. Maybe we have to visit the Cock and Magpie before it actually goes into the whole eating people sort of ordeal. Surely I can forward 20 echoes, right? Sure, let's try it. Drinks at the Cock and Magpie. There's only one public house on the island, the Cock and Magpie, famed for its local cider and, of course, Z-food. Cider and cave dory. The trees of the Neath are scraggly and wretched, scraping a living with parasynthesis. But the apples of Mutton Island are tart and powerful, perfect for cider. Cider. This stuff is stronger than it looks. You stretch out in your seat, stare through the leaded window at your safely moored ship, and find yourself whistling. The landlord gives you a friendly grin and goes back to whetting his cleaver. Only lost us one echo, but it's fine. And we have gotten drinks there. Alright, well, nothing nearly as bad as what I thought would happen happened. There's a crab out here. Can we get that in? Oh, does he see us? Perhaps? Oh yeah, he does. Okay, made the shot without our lights on here, so that's fine. Could use it for supplies. I think this one just gives us fragments. Maybe a strange catch, though. Nah, we'll just take it for supplies. Lose some hunger. Okay, that's fine. And that'll also reduce us some terror as well. Wow, that reduced us 7 terror? That's actually pretty good. But we should be almost back to Fallen London here. We had a very distant expedition, that last one. And it gave us quite a bit of terror as well. We seem to have made it back all right. The air carries the scent of salt and shadows. Perfect. Our something awaits us back. We are homebound. Look at that. Okay. Don't have anything here. Do we have anything aboard that isn't legal? I don't think we do. I wonder if we should set something aside, because it seems like I've never seen that option before. Perhaps that's just because we're getting further in the gameplay than we have previously. We've got nothing to lose if we let them search our ship. We don't have suspicion above 5, so we won't lose our suspicion at all. At least I'm pretty sure we don't have our suspicion above 5. Our contact with the blind bruiser presumably lifted it up, but did we get any more? I don't remember what our suspicion is off the top of my head. I can't look because this is an event. Let's try the set something aside thing. We've got a very high chance of succeeding there. They needn't know about every little trinket you have. The freest of trades. They tramp up and down your freshly mopped stairwell in their nasty boots. They poke and pry and prod, but they find nothing. We succeeded in the Veil's challenge of hiding nothing from the authorities. Okay, cool. London welcomes us home. We get a breath of relief. Our terror has been reset. Or not? Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, we're back. We are back. We know where Mount Palmerston is, so we can do that trade for the Venturer here. If we head back up that way. I think this time we will head to Port Carnelian, though, now that we have got all of the information for the submarine that we have. Let's go collect our messages here. Something changed, of course. Blind Bruiser's still doing his thing. Yes, everything is pretty much the standard. So, just double check the hold here. We've got the strategic information. We've got 2 of them, actually. We could use a move in the Great Game to create some vital intelligence here. But I would prefer to do it with a memory of distant shores, because we've got 11 of those. We've got absolutely loads of those. So maybe I will upgrade my mirrors. I think it'd be a good idea to have mirrors anyway. Certainly somebody here would be able to give us some mirrors. One of the many, many individuals that we have on board as officers. We'll leave it till later. We'll leave it until later. Let's go to the Admiralty's office to get our cash and our fuel here. Mount Palmerston, the Brimstone Convention, they trouble me, Captain. Got some fuel, got quite a bit of echo. Port Cecil. The Principles of Coral. I have no idea why anyone thought that settlement was a good idea. Perfect. Station 3. Excuse me, let me call a colleague in. Omitted. This is my colleague, Dr. Villain of the Ministry of Public Decency. Mr. Villain, this good captain's report is here. If you'd care to, yes, the fire is already lit. There we go. Now only ashes remain. That might have caused such a lot of trouble. Thank you, Captain. We appreciate your discretion. Here's your payment. You need not trouble yourself further in this affair. Ooh, wow, we got 100 echo for that. It's definitely a secret location, considering they just burned our port report. That's a very valuable port report, evidently. I wonder if it's the same every time, or if they'll get mad at us for investigating Station 3. Abbey Rock. We categorize it as a military installation, you know, although that has occasioned some quite vigorous debate. 20 echo, some fuel. Okay. Yeah, considering they're ninja nuns, I think that is correct. Pigmote Isle. Yep, they still think we're ridiculous. Quite certain this is the report you wish to make. So be it. And Visage. Ah, the island that looks up. I don't suppose you found out what it's staring at? No, we did not. We found out enough to get us some fuel and echo. Wisdom. Burr. Did the oracles look hungry? The salt lines. Abzar has always taken an interest in that place. Really? Nothing? No communique on how an entire island basically disappeared? Really, nothing. They seem to take this in great stride. Wow. Quaker's Haven, just chilling. All is quote-unquote well on Mutton Island. We'll at least take the fuel from it. I don't want to turn in our strategic information. Let's ask here if they need anything specific. Revelatory chart. Surely we'll be able to use this somehow. I don't want to turn in anything to him. I'd rather go and take it of my own accord. So, let's see if he's got anything else. We have retrieved strategic information from the Mangrove College in the Swallowing Isles. This port, speak to our agent there. In return, we'll see that you're rewarded. Okay. We got a new mission from the Admiralty. No location listed. So we need to go to the Swallowing Isles. Not heard of that at all. And we need to visit the Mangrove College in that location to reach our contact there. Okay. Well. Nothing else to report, Admiral. Don't look at me too in depth. So, do we need more crew? Sort of. Maybe we can get a new recruit. That'll just be a single one. He'll be cheap if we do it that way, if it's not an officer. Apparently we've got 2 another days. Curious. Let's just double check that we didn't pick up anything for the Rose Market. Does not look like the case. I think I will actually trade this out. Oh no, another day for evening. Okay, so maybe I'll try checking our recruits here. Yep, just a simple zailor. That is totally fine. What desperate desire has led this one to sign on? They're cheap. Who cares? They're very keen. Consequently, they are cheap. We'll go pick up our crew there. Oh, we've lost some terror from it. New face, they come, they go. May this one live a little longer than most. Can we still change out the day at the Rose Market? We can indeed. I think I will because I don't like either of these trades that we've got here. It didn't rotate anything last time, but yes, it looks like we did have that this time. We can trade an outlandish artifact to a veteran privy councilor. He's there surveying curios from distant ports with palace servants in muted slippers. The Empress dislikes loud noises. The Empress? Is this from Fallen London? No. Surveying curios from distant ports. Maybe this is the Empress of Fallen London. I think since we have 2 outlandish artifacts, we're not really going on an outlandish artifact search at the moment. We could do it to, let's see, our lodgings here. We could do it to create, let's see, I believe it is, yes, the Monstrous Almanac here. But we'd need 7 of them, and we don't have nearly that many. Nor do we really know where we can consistently get any. Gonna check the sea trades here. I'm pretty sure it's Wither The trade's a non-echo, but I don't think any of their trades give outlandish artifacts. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Maybe we could dig in Mount Palmerston to get them, but I think we'll just happen upon them. And if they're trades like this, I don't mind trading them away. So let's go to the Rose Market and give that man a trade. A collector of sorts. The veteran Privy Councillor holds a mirror behind the artifact and examines the reflection. Yes, inferior to London workmanship, obviously, but it will make an acceptable conversation piece nonetheless. Nevertheless, he snaps his fingers at a servant. Pay the captain. 150 echoes for the outlandish artifacts. Okay, maybe if they're just trading for money, we probably should have saved that. I would have assumed that it would trade something better, but I guess that's my mistake. Okay, I can really get rid of this. I now know how to get that submarine stuff done. It's all at Port Carnelian. Could go to the Labyrinth of Tigers and purchase the live specimen here. What does it require for our lodgings? I know that there's one that requires a live specimen, but can't recall what exactly it was. It's the Serene Aquarium. Increases our mirrors by 7. Supplies, 7 secrets. We have 16. This may actually be a worthwhile trade. But it would cost essentially 500 echoes to increase our mirrors by 7, effectively. Will this transfer over multiple characters? Because this could be an investment in future, essentially on our lineage. We've got plenty of echoes right now. I'm not sure if I want to trade away so many of them for that bonus at the moment. I think we'll save on it. We'll save on it. What we'll do is that once we head down to Port Carnelian, we'll do all of the standard stuff over there, and then we'll try to get back over to Visage. We'll get the submarine stuff done at Port Carnelian. Hopefully it won't take up too much echo. We'll get over to Visage and try to trade with them with our excess of echo. Now, can we do anything else here? We go to the Alarming Scholar. Got the Labyrinth of Tigers. Nothing else here. We could repair the single damage on our hull that we've got. But I don't think we will. So let's just double check all of our officers here. Right, he wants the torpedo components and the fuel. Quite a bit of each. As well as supplies. So we're not going to talk to him yet. I just want to double check that I can go through everything here. Carnelian Exile. Simply requires a single supply. Oh, and they both cost Searing Enigmas, of which we have 1. I also have no idea where we got that one. Can't recall where we found it. Is she a Deviless, perhaps? Considering that fang there that we can see in her image. That's not visible on her zoomed out picture. Curious. Got the Brisk Campaigner, who wishes for mute her salt before we can do anything with her. Our other doctor here. Oh, and we can actually change whom he is, because he's currently the haunted doctor. We can turn him into the disillusioned doctor or the determined doctor, at least if I'm reading that correctly here. Or perhaps that's something regarding something else in his storyline. And lastly, all of the individuals that we currently have aboard here. Riddled with dreams. Did we already talk to him about this? I think we talked to him about this, and he told us about the Chapel of Light. I suppose we could talk to about this to him again. Yes. He wants to go to the Chapel of Lights, a northern church. But he didn't tell us exactly where it was, so it's not exactly helpful to us. We still don't have that strange catch to talk to her about it. Right, and we can't romance her in any way. So nothing to do with her. We don't have the Dark Drop coffee beans to dine with her. But we do have plenty more iron now, and she wrestled us to a standstill before she won. And again, we don't have both the Muter Salt and the Strange Catch to dine with our cook as well. Mog's still doing Mog things. The surgeon still doesn't have our live specimen to talk with her about. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll just set out. We'll get ourselves... so let's double check our inventory here. Nothing to sell as of yet. Maybe this revelatory chart, since it seems like one of us, or the only thing that it says is that the dark spectacled admiral was interested in it. Ironclad Will is still there. We can transfer the strategic item or strategic information into some more vital intelligence. So I'm wondering if these green text areas here, so this one's talking about Venderbite and this one's talking about the Admiralty. I wonder if that's indicating that's the only option that you can use with that. Because in this one specifically, it mentions that the Admiral as well as the Diplomat will be interested in that. So I'm wondering if it's only mentioning one of them because that is the only option there. Don't have any other items that only have one listed. I think we'll keep it. I think we'll keep it for now. Let's go purchase up some food. Just enough to make it to Port Carnelian, which shouldn't be too much, I think. 4 will probably be enough, and then we can buy more there since it's cheaper. And other than that, do we want to transport cargo? Let's double check Port Carnelian's economy. It looks like they buy mushroom wine at a little bit of a profit. Romantic literature. I don't think it's enough of a profit to really bother carrying it around. And we are going to be getting some more fuel at the Iron Republic, if we can. Maybe we'll happen upon a new Iron Republic store, considering the time that we have there. Okay, let's set off. Pretty calm. Our terror is still high. Can't recall for the life of me how I got it reduced so far. I do remember I got a 25 terror reduction at one point. I think that was because I got a tattoo. I think. So it could very well be that there are other better ways of reducing terror. We don't currently have access to them. or at least we don't know well enough about them. We'll go dock at Quaker's Haven. Okay, I just wanted to check that was not something nasty. We'll dock here very quick. We will not do that. We'll just grab the port report. I want to save this for when we get to the Iron Republic. Well, we're quite a distance from the Iron Republic. If I get a tattoo in real life, do you think it'll reduce my anxiety? I don't know if that's quite how it works properly. I think it's probably just for the game. I think that would be a terrible idea, just to get more and more tattoos to try to deal with that in real life. We'll explore the shore, I guess. Might as well. Yep, nothing changes. Didn't even use up our something awaits us, so I don't think any of that will tell us stuff. We will use it in the Humane Canal, though, because it does occasionally give us moves in the Great Game with the bar fight over there. It'll give us just the perfunctory report, which doesn't give us very much echo, but it does give us plenty of fuel, that being one, same as every other location port report. Ooh, hello, Mr. Crab. Let's see if we can sneak up behind him undetected here. There we go. Let's just charge that up here. Light him up as well. Okay, well, let's just butcher it up here for some hunger cleared. How far are we off of the Humane Canal? Not too far. Get a tattoo to help with the fear of needles. I mean, maybe that would work. Exposure therapy. But, I don't think it would work for very many other things. Alrighty, we've again reached the Humane Canal. We can dock in Giannotti Harbor. Alrighty, we will grab our port report. Everything seems pretty standard there, and let's listen for some more surface gossip. Daylight. This would be a prime spot for a pub or wine shop. The interests of the Echo Bazaar and the laws of London prevent it. They don't like competition. Still, there are temporary half-legal hostelries and long-moored ships. Here you trade stories with the suntan surface sailors, stories of Paris and Batavia, lost fires in the final isles. Okay, we got another vision of the surface. So we really need a whole lot of fuel to head up to the surface. I wonder how the sun works with the Neath Dweller, because it says it's dangerous here, right? But it's just sun? Do we just get terrible sunburns or something? I wonder, because the surface, as far as I can tell, is just normal surface stuff. So I wonder how interactions there work. It's still set in the 1800s. Yeah, we're in 1888 right now, based on our log. What on earth was going on during 1888? I can't even recall. What was happening in Europe and... Industrial Revolution stuff, presumably. Assuming the technology between here and the surface is sort of even. Oops, wrong one. Meant to turn off my light. Actually, no, that's a terrible idea. I should not gain excess terror while I'm planning on heading out so far. Alrighty, there's Adam's Doom, which means we are by the Iron Republic. Will we get our something awaits us, though, is the question. Because we are... There we go. I was about to say, we are pretty close by, so I would hope we wouldn't have to wait for it. Looks like that Khanate ship. Ooh, turn around. Don't worry about us, my friend. I'm pretty sure that's a Khanate ship. I do know that it has like 200 or so health. I think it should be good, though. We have docked safely. All right, we don't have 70 or above terror, so we don't get to listen to our old fears here. Definitely not leaving our sailors ashore. Let's go grab the port report. Everything is still confusing. Tales of Terror gained. Memory of Distant Shores gained. Oh, and a page is gained. Nice. Let's go check out the Market of Hungers here. Okay, that's a new one. Hell Provides reads the sign above the Market of Hungers today, perhaps tomorrow too. So let's go check out the shop here. We could buy a Soothe and Cooper Longbox. Costs a captivating treasure though. We don't have that. Let's go write down this new... Oh no, it's the House of Harvests. I thought it was the Market of Hungers. I'm gonna write it down as the Market of Hungers here. So the Iron Republic. Market of Hungers. Sells a Soothe and Cooper Longbox. I think that's what we need to get into Station 3. Sells it for 1 captivating treasure. You can't sell it off there. Fuel's pretty standard. Supplies it sells for 15. Oh, wow. This is cheaper than Port Carnelian. So you can buy that at 15 Echo. Wow, we'll just fill up here then. And obviously sells for nothing. Can buy a cask of mushroom wine. This is still more expensive than it would sell for in Port Carnelian, sadly. And most places that desire casks of mushroom wine. Buy at 24 Echoes, sell for nothing. And last but not least, a firkin of prisoner's honey. And that is at 26 Echo. I don't know whether or not that's a good price. I can't recall if I've ever picked any up at that price before. If I've ever picked any up at all. Looking broadly here. See, it looks like it sells for 26 Echo in the Corsair's Forest. So no profit to be made there. In Fallen London, perhaps it sells as well. Sells for either 25 or 35 Echo. I've miswritten in my notes here, so I've got no clue which one it is. Or no, rather it can be purchased for 35 Echo and 25 or 35 and sells for 20 Echo. So definitely a loss there. A loss on that. Doesn't look like any of the other locations feature it though. Okay. Either way, we got great trades on both fuel and supplies here, so we're just going to fill ourselves up as much as possible here. So I'm going to buy up to... 15 supply, maybe? 15 supply and 20 fuel. I think that'll give us plenty to get along the Isles. And have a little bit more cargo space as well. If we do end up needing to pick up a few items here or there. Wow, that's a fantastic trade. I'll definitely have to check in if the Market of Hungers is available. Because boy, do they trade well. All right. But other than that, we're done. We're not going to fund the Tittering Artificers project. We don't have a forward weapon slot, nor do we have Stygian Ivory or Devilbone Dice on us. Let's set ourselves a field. Oh, actually, since we do have enough fuel now, we need to keep our lights on to keep our terror low. Maybe not. There's a dreadnought. Will it see us? Okay, it looks like we're gaining fear at the highest rate anyway, since we're in this fog bank. We'll just sail with our lights off here. So how far are we from the Grand Geode? I do want to check in there just to get the port report. And we've reached Dawn's Edge. Is that glowing dreadnought somewhere still down here? Usually there's one kind of observing the area to the south of this. Yep, there it is. Off to the southwest of the Grand Geode. Don't think I will talk to the Admiral here? Somebody. Yeah, the Commodore here. Don't think I will talk to him in case the glowing affects me here. We'll just compile the port report and set straight off. Yeah, nothing of interest here. Let's get ourselves the heck out. I suppose we can just sail straight across to Port Carnelian, since it looks like we've got some blank spaces on the map. Though I don't believe those are truly blank spaces. I think they were just like the map sort of bugging out. Maybe something has changed. I still don't know if that's what's happening with all the blank spaces on our map that we've definitely explored, or if it's just kind of glitchy, because I swear these have been lit up before. Ooh, and there's the gigantic scary fish that killed our our sister very dead. Oh, it's noticed us. Can we sneak by it unharmed? Doesn't know where we are anymore. Let's hug the cliffs here. I think we're good, yeah. Okay. But we made it to Port Carnelian, which means we can get our submarine, assuming the costs aren't too high. So, first things first, let's go just do our stuff, standard stuff in Port Carnelian. The last place we have to call. The Governor's Mansion, the Heart's Cross House, where the Governor administers this distant fleck of Her Majesty's Empire. Let's go get a port report here. A port report. The Governor is very, very busy, and Attaché offers you a bowl of sugared puffballs and explains the work the Governor does among the natives. Got to keep them happy. What? After all, they are tigers? Got to keep them happy. What? I don't know how to parse this. Got to keep them happy. What? Maybe it's got to keep them happy. What? After all, they are tigers. I think that's how that's supposed to be read. Helgan is much smarter than his sister. His sister was she was a soldier through and through. Followed orders great. Did combat well enough. Not quite enough in the brain pan to captain the ship effectively. Dang, I really thought that I'd be able to talk to the diplomat here. Maybe that's just for the port report. Oh well. Okay. Hidden workshop. Complete phase 2. You brandish the pilfered Sonar schematics. The engineers cheer. They set to work immediately. Your ship is docked at the workshop and concealed beneath a set of awnings. Beneath, hammers ring, drills whir, mechanics argue, reconcile, improvise. From the outside, your ship looks largely unaltered, but inside, new pipes gleam. A satisfying lever stands by the helm, surrounded by an array of mysterious gauges and dials. This extends the shell hull, a weary engineer explains. Don't pull it until you're out at Z, eh? The fierce philanthropist offers you a sherry. We've done it. She says, to your new journeys, sir, wherever they may lead. If you trade this ship for another, your chief engineer will automatically apply the submarine conversion process to your new vessel. Future captains can obtain a submarine conversion by returning to Port Carnelian. They will not have to repeat the quest. Fantastic! That's great. Okay, so our ship may now transform into a submarine. We just have to press T at Z to transform. Your future captains may convert their ships to submarines without cost. Fantastic. We did it. We've got a submarine. Did it take echoes from... Did that take echoes from us, or this is just how much we spent on fuel and supplies? I think that might just be fuel and supplies that was spent on. So, we can now do submarine things. Kind of concerned. I don't know how submarine stuff changes. I don't know how to do how it works out. I suppose that's just one of those things that we have to determine by playing through. I don't want all this this work to go to waste. Regardless, we've effectively set our captain up here. So I suppose let's go pan for jungles here. Pan for sapphires in the fungal jungle. We got a 60% chance there. Somewhere in its heart runs a river of shining stones. A native ambush. Perhaps ambush is a strong word, but there's a tiger sitting on a broad mushroom cap, asking unflattering questions about your nutritional value. You retreat. Gain some terror, gain a tale of terror. Oops. Somehow my iron of 75 failed on that. Okay. I suppose we might as well open these up. They'll effectively just be new quest lines, surely. We won't have to do them. Most likely. No clue. No clue. Either way, let's talk to him. Assist a specialized collector. A dapper gentleman lounges by a shoot of flowers, admiring butterflies with a predatory gleam in his eyes. Would you help him find the quarry of a lifetime? Sure. A man of pins and the jar. With a satisfied nod towards your ship, the incomparable Aurelian slips the butterfly into a killing jar. Oh. He explains as the vibrant orange wings beat against the glass. You've been beneath the waves, I see, and I trust you've seen seen tyrant moths as well. Fine creatures, but nothing compared to the regal kin, the most moth. I know where to find it, and with your ship we can see it hatch. Gazes down at the butterfly, now still. Take me down to the undercrow, and I'll show you something worth preserving forever. Okay. Well, we've got to go to... Let's see. The undercrow. Let's see here. Shoot, I forgot what his name was. Undercrow. Oh, the incomparable Aurelian. It sent us off to the undercrow. So... if we do end up finding wherever the undercrow is, no idea where it is, we get to do that there. And we have got 3 knowledge of visages. Anything else we can do in Port Carnelian? We could reduce our terror here. Probably not by much and for entirely too much cost. I think we'll just head out. We got enough fuel. We got plenty of fuel. Could buy another sack of dark drop coffee beans. Probably eating through our supplies at a lesser rate than we are our fuel. Maybe we didn't need to have bought so much. Yeah, what the heck? I'm waffling on this because I want to go to Visage again and do some commerce there. But if I do that with my current cargo amount, even with the amount lost getting to and from there, it'll be a bit of a waste. Let's save that for a possibility. We'll not save too much echo for it. Right now, I'll buy a sack of dark drop coffee beans so we can talk to our cannoneer again, our gunnery officer, the Presbyterate Adventuress. I'll do that, and we'll talk to her over another dinner. One day I'll be tired of coffee sorbet, she smiles. Not today. A troubling evening. She's obviously distracted. Halfway through her dessert, she loses the thread of the conversation, snaps her spoon in half, apologizes, flings the spoon across the room, apologizes again, and pushes the rest of the sorbet away. Sorry, she growls. I can't concentrate. You know why? I'm getting old. My bloody father. You know what the College of Mortality is? Our very own elected hell. They choose our king. They tell us when to die. He cheated them. So now I'm getting old. She drains her glass. Old, too old. I'll see you in the morning. She rises to her feet with uncharacteristic clumsiness and stumbles out, but not before you've seen the tears in her eyes. Oh. Curious. I don't know what this means. The College of Mortality. Is she talking about us as a collective, as everybody underneath, or is it specifically her as an officer, or maybe she is somehow tied to Hell? Because Hell is capitalized here, and we do know that Hell is a faction. How curious. How curious indeed. Well, we've got a secret from it. We've lost some supplies, but that's okay. We've gained a memory of distant shores as well. Okay, well, I think we'll head east here. Head east along the coast. Really thought I would have run into the Khanate before now. Perhaps in this area I will. We've found Khanate associated areas. Yeah, so what the heck is this? These guys. What are these? Blue Prophets. Oh, whoa. They've got lots of health. No. Yeah, we are getting right the heck out of there. They're still following us? Okay, they've lost us now. I'm going to try to submerge, I think. I can't tell if they're following us at all. Whoa, look at that animation. Wow. That's really cool. Oh, we've actually submerged to a different location here. Sonar lets you see beneath the sea. When underwater, it highlights nearby obstacles, discoveries, and creatures with a dim blue glow. You'll have to get closer to find out what they are. So what is our map like here? We do know we're still in a location here. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I thought the underwater area would just be... oh man, I thought it would just be certain locations that we could go underwater, but evidently we can just do it anywhere. Ooh, we do happen to be using a lot more fuel though. Okay, I think I'm going to resurface here. But that's fascinating. That's really interesting. I guess that's a quick way to escape any possible... Whoops, I had a little too far north. a good way to escape any possible pursuers. We just go and submerge as quickly as possible. But we have ended up here. Whoa, what's this area? The Promised Sea. All through this place, the songs of drownies' lives shiver sweet along the wind. No islands in range. Discovered Luckright's Reef. Okay. Be careful, there's an O2 meter when you're submerged in the bottom left. Oh, okay, so we do have a limited amount of oxygen each time. Is this a ship or a lighthouse? It's a lighthouse. We're good. A whole lot of nothing around here that we've seen. Something underwater close by to the southeast. Oh, right under us, really. All right. What the heck? Let's submerge. An obstruction prevents us from diving. Okay. Let's head a little ways this way. Let's see what we can dock at. So it takes a quick second here. So I assume that if we were to do that while we were being pursued, they would have the opportunity to... Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this? Discovered Eagle. Oh, that's a creepy, creepy sound. That is a super creepy sound. Eagle. The station is pinned to the surface of Eagle. Once it was a roving vessel, the Fortis Kettle, and floated freely from place to place. Now it is stuck on the spines of Fluke Rock. Bribe the first mate. The crew can't show you around. The first mate keeps the hatch keys. They rarely leave the engine room. They'll come out for solace fruit. Or we could assemble the port report. Oh, I don't like that. That creepy, like, skittering sound. I don't like that at all. Is that the location, or is that something out there that's out to eat me? I'm very concerned by it. All right, well, I guess the only thing we can do is assemble a port report here. The Admiralty would find this a curious place. Loose information. You gather a description of the Fortis Kettle and a survey of its resources. You scrape away a little of the sealant and the color of amber and the texture of wax that keeps out seawater where the hull is pierced by the spines of Eagle. You sketch the arrangement of decks and hatches so far. So far as you've been able to reach. But about the population, you cannot offer much detail. The tomb colonist declines to be identified, and the traveling postman laughs at you. Okay, so it sounds like... I assume the skittering is actually the... Fluke Rock, I guess. Because it seems like a ship that was actually pinned in place that's turned into some sort of city. Fascinating. So that's good. I hope that's what that skittering is. Though, the fact that the sonar is sort of showing this way makes me sort of feel like it's not. Ooh, and we've got more economy. More economy, my favorite. Okay. Let's get ourselves here. We're soon going to have to expand our economy pages out. We were almost out of space on what we have here. So, first things first, we are at... Where the heck are we at? Eagle. Yes. I will detail that it is underwater, specifically. The shops, it has muter salt to be sold, specifically, for... What is this? Foxfire candles. Whoops. To maybe foxfire candles have something to do with the underwater stuff, or maybe that's just a location, something for the location. Between here and Port Carnelian, there's a good route for coffee beans. Oh, yes, there is, actually. Sack of dark drop coffee beans sells for 44. Wow. That is a profit of... I think it's... So 38 to buy... So that's 6 for each dark drop coffee bean that I managed to sell. So 44 echo. I'm actually going to unpause for a second here. I'm going to get out of the menus. Hopefully so that sound goes away. It did not go away in the slightest. Oh well. Next thing up is a cask of mushroom wine. That sells for 24 echo. A little more than most places will buy for, but it's still only a $3 echo profit for how much it is to get. And Solace Fruit sells for 4 memories of distant shores. I wish there was some place we could get those for cheap, because those are great sales pretty much everywhere, but they cost 250 echo each in every place that I've found them so far. Also, I really need to figure out how to shorten some of the currencies here. So I've been writing E for echoes, naturally, but yeah, the E symbol. But that's not working out so well with all of the other currencies. There's no real way to shorthand them that I can see would be effective. And possibly wine. I think doing this for wine would not be nearly as good. It's half essentially the profit per wine as it is for coffee beans. But maybe if we are broke, we could do that and just go back and forth with it. Then for torpedo components, we can actually buy those. Those are purchased for 5 echo and sold for 1. Fuel, pretty cheap, actually, considering this area is outside of Fallen London. It is bought at 12, which is just the slightest bit over Fallen London prices, and sold at 3. And then supplies are similarly just a little bit more than they are in Fallen London. Bought at 23 and sold at 10. So this wouldn't be a bad place to hit up if we were in need of supplies all the way out here. Supplies or fuel, really. Okay, but that's kind of the only thing we can do here since we don't have a Solace Fruit. I think I'm going to get out and then immediately head up to the surface. Well, will I? Maybe not. No, I will. This is freaking me out too much. Oh, thank goodness. We no longer have to deal with that creepy skittering sound. Alright. Promise C, right? All the drowny stuff. That skittering noise was shutters. Yeah, Oh, it's creepy. It is super duper creepy. Check with our bat here. Something north of us. Just some random coral islandy looking thing. Nothing too terribly interesting. Visage is above us. We've got a whole empty area we haven't explored, so maybe we'll hit that after we do Visage's stuff. We've got more supply than we know what to do with. For just a moment here. Whoa! What's that sound? What's that sound all about? Why was there a ship's horn? Is it a whale sound? I've never heard that one before. Okay. I'm going to pause it up here, just because we're at the Untersee. I want to see if we can sell our supplies anywhere, because we've got way too many of them for what our purposes are. And I do believe there's at least one location where supplies are sold at quite the premium. It's sold for 25 somewhere. Right, that's the Iron Republic, the Gothic conspiracy that sells for 25 Echo. Sadly, the Fallen... Well, not so sadly. Happily, the Iron Republic's current market is the market of hungers. Though it may not be by the time we get back there. I don't think supplies sell nearly as high anywhere else. That's okay. We'll slowly eat through the supplies. Eventually, we will get there. We've kind of just made it all the way over to Visage. Whoa. About to say, made it over to Visage without encountering anything else. Okay, there's something down here. Port Cavendish. Ow. As we have somebody in pursuit of us. That ship looks much bigger than ours, though. So let's go dock here. Ooh, the Isle of Cats, where there are roses. Port Cavendish, what are you? A scatter of yellow-lit honey dens and brightly painted alehouses. To the southeast rises the stone towers of Cavendish Abbey, its ramparts hung with crimson and gold banners. There are zailors from all across the Neath hauling cargo, dicing, brawling good-naturedly on the docks. The air carries the sounds of Z shanties sung with more enthusiasm than skill, and the smell of roses edged with brimstone. A piratical welcome. Welcome to the Isle of Cats, a wide-eyed dockmaster says brightly. Would you like to bribe me not to write down your details in this nice official ledger? What? Okay, that's curious. So evidently if we had 600 Echo, we could buy a shipment of red honey. Curious. Red honey, I believe, is something we can give to the Admiral. Or no, maybe that's something different. It is, I believe it is an illicit good. Or we could sell sunlight if we had a sunlight-filled mirror catch box, but it is also a challenge, apparently. I think we'll compile a port report here. Though the Isle seems at present beyond the reach of the Admiralty's laws, that does not mean that the Admiralty lacks interest in their activities. Roses and Kings, you spend half a day observing the docks and note an astonishing number and variety of ships. Was that a connate trimaran nestled beside a vessel from the Iron Republic? The dockhands complain loudly that they have never been busier. The caddies talk ceaselessly and carelessly about smuggling and piracy, but even the most hardened zailors lower their voices when they mention the King. They go even quieter when they talk about the Rose Garden. You make careful notes. Perhaps the Admiralty will understand what they mean, even if you don't. Curious. So do I want to... It's only 5 Echo to avoid his view here. We'll note down the prices. They only have fuel and supplies for sale. Both of them at standard C pricing. So we are at Port Cavendish, I think? Yes, Port Cavendish. On the Isle of Cats. And fuel and supplies are both sold at standard price. Fuel for 20 Echoes and sells for 1, and supplies for 30 Echo and sells for 5. I suppose we'll bribe him. May as well. You hand over the coins, and she tips you a sharp smile before waving you to the nearest alehouse. The entire process is straightforwardly corrupt and pleasingly efficient. Ooh, we've actually got more stuff now that we've actually bribed her off. The Rose and Tiger. The alehouse's sign is a tiger painted the color of rose petals. Someone's gone to great trouble and expense to gild the creature's eyes. They look out over the port, feral and unseeing. A caged hive of lamplighter bees hangs from the ceiling like a chandelier. A few zailors give you hard-mouthed, assessing looks, but most ignore your presence entirely. So, significant tokens, clandestine doings, religious observances, or leave. Oh, and evidently we aren't able to come back here. So let's go through these options one at a time. Significant tokens. The caddies all wear a pair of amber stones threaded around their necks or pinned to their collars. Cat's eyes, one of them says, for the pirate king. As far as you can gather, a pirate king's name is Leopold. He controls all trade on the island. Half of the caddies believe he can take the form of a crimson tiger and creep into their dreams. The other half suspect, more prosaically, that he simply eats those who displease them. Interesting. So Leopold, the pirate king, I think? Clandestine doings, a whispered conversation, the clink of coins, an exchange of goods. The merest taste. You turn your head as though you were admiring one of the molding draperies hung from the walls. A vial flashes in the buyer's trembling hands. He uncorks it, pours a few drops of thick red liquid down his throat. The vial drops to the floor. When you look back up, he is gone. You blink and look around. Nobody else seems in the least perturbed that a man disappeared from their midst. You pick up the fallen vial and examine the traces left inside. Sticky honey gleaming with a redness entirely unlike blood. Is that the red vial stuff? It makes people disappear? How strange. Okay, let's see what the yeah, I'm pretty sure that's red honey. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Apparently it makes people disappear though. Maybe it's like superhero cocaine. Oh, am I allowed to say that? Cocaine? Who knows? Where you take a drop and you move faster than people can observe you, so you seem to disappear. Who knows? Religious observances. Is that a crimson-veiled nun? But what sort of nun would be in a place like this? Combat nuns. Evidently. A mellifluous sister, of course, she responds, performing a complicated negotiation between veil, thick glove, and a glass of mushroom wine. You ask what one of those is, and she snorts. I'm glaring at you underneath this bloomin' veil. You act appropriately cowed, and the mellifluous sister thaws a little. We are beekeepers and honey harvesters. The caddies owe their prosperity to us and the Pirate King, too. She slurps the last of the mushroom wine behind her veil, and the barkeep glides over to refill her glass, eyes respectfully downcast. How strange. What an interesting place. Well, I suppose we can leave the alehouse now. There must be more to the Isle of Cats than drunken sots and Z stories. Laws of the land. The barkeep stops you before you reach the door and hands you a brooch set with 2 amber stones. He waits impassively until you pin it to your clothes. Everybody wears the cat's eyes here, he tells you, moving aside to let you pass. Just a friendly reminder that the Pirate King is watching. It seems that no place, then, is truly lawless. Okay, well, we paid him off, but it seems as though he's still got some eye on us. So we've got the Honey Tongue. There's both brothel and honey den run by someone the caddies refer to as the King's Claw. Cavendish Abbey, the crimson red mellifluous sisters patrol its ramparts and tend their hives of lamplighter bees. And then the 2 options that we had before. Let's check out the Abbey first. I assume they're combat sisters. I don't know what mellifluous means. But it seemed like the sisters were very much a military sort of operation. Cavendish Abbey. The mellifluous sisters make their home in the richly appointed stone tower of Cavendish Abbey. Their thick gloves and crimson mesh helmets are worn, less for modesty and more for practicality. They tend the hives of the lamplighter bees all across the isle make a religious observance of harvesting red honey for the Pirate King. Your actions will attract the Pirate King's notice. You need 5 times Pirate King's notice to gain an offer from a patron. Curious. So, if we were to have that, we would be able to talk to the Lady of the Gardens about her offer. We could gossip with the novice. Ooh. And this would tell us what we can really use a lamentable relic for, since we do have one of those. Or we could give them fuel. Sadly, we don't have any recent news, so we can't meet with the abbess. I think we will talk to the novice, though. She could, she tells you earnestly, really use a lamentable relic. Best not to ask her what for. She's only a recent novice and barely even inducted into the lore epistic mysteries. Still, she has some useful information to impart. The recent destabilization of the red honey trade elsewhere has been fortuitous for the Isle of Cats. Honey production can barely meet demand. The abbess and the Lady of the Gardens are having some kind of dispute over staffing, of all things. Curious. I wonder if the whole explosion that we caused up in Port Cecil had anything to do with that. So let's check out the Honeyed Tongue. It is both brothel and honey den run by someone the caddies refer to as the King's Claw. Entering the brothel is like sliding into the dreams of a surface orientalist. Jewel-embroidered cushions, bright silk drapes, gilded statues of elephants, sun bears, and clouded leopards. Are they all... Oh, no, okay, they're statues. For a moment, I thought they were talking about actual elephants, sun bears, and leopards. I was considering the tigers are cognizant of their own actions and can talk and everything. I was wondering if they were able to too, but no, they're just statues. Silver censers release curling plumes of rose-scented smoke into the air. The courtesans are red-lipped and coal-smudged. When you catch their eyes, they smile back at you with professional interest. So, we could ask what red honey is. We could swap some tales with a honey smuggler. Or we could comfort a Z captain. Wait, read the thing at the top in the green text. Your actions will attract the Pirate King's notice. You need 5 times Pirate King's notice to gain an offer from the patron. Yeah, I already knew that. If we want to talk to either the leader of the King's Claw or the leader of the nuns, whatever, the abbess, I think it was, then we have to gain some more information here. I'm going to ask about what the red honey is, because what the heck did we just observe in the bar? I've got no clue. Ask what the red honey is. You know, of course, only the particulars may have slipped your mind. One of the nearby courtesan's eyebrows lifts infinitesimally, but his reply is practice. When lamplighter bees suck the nectar out of the crimson strain of exile's roses, they are driven to madness. They enter the brains of humans and harvest their memories. He shudders as though imagining the process himself. Those memories are instilled in red honey. Each sip is a burst of memory on the tongue. Deliciously awful, isn't it? He flutters his dyed, feathered fan. Okay, but how did that make that dude that drank it disappear? Like, how did he just go poof into smoke? That does not explain a whole lot, though it does make it even creepier that the Admiral apparently has a hankering for red honey. We can comfort a Z captain. Z captain is weeping gently into a courtesan's bosom, mothering of her lost crew and rose gardens. And that'll either cost us or give us some fragments. I think we'll do that, because I don't want to trade 5 Z stories there. Let's go comfort this Z captain. They're all tending the gardens now, she wails and begins to weep again. My poor crew. You wait for a hitch in the sobs and inquire further. It is a slow, delicate business drawing answers out of her, but you are nothing if not perseverant. It seems her crew was conscripted by the Lady of the Gardens, and that their duties are something far worse than horticulture. You leave her reciting the names of her lost zailors and commending them to Salt's mercy. Interesting. So I assume that they are having their memories slurped out, judging by their description of what red honey is. God, that is spooky. It's just purified memory sucked out of somebody else that you could evidently drink, which is not pleasant in the slightest. I don't think I'm gonna do anything else here. I could trade fuel for something else, I guess notice effectively. But I don't really want to do that. I think I'll just leave. 367 echoes. That should be enough to buy a few things at Visage that we can then trade elsewhere. Hopefully, considering it's so difficult to get into Visage, it'll be objects that'll be purchased for cheaper and sell for higher. But I have no clue. We've got zero clue whatsoever. All right. Just need to head pretty much straight north. We'll turn off our lamp here. Oh, please don't notice me. Yeah, I can't get away from this guy. I'm just going to burn some extra fuel here. Hopefully our ship won't catch fire at all. Whew, okay. I think this is Visage that we're coming up on right now. Kalpaka Cove. Kalpalka Cove. Yeah, this is Visage. So we can just redock and piss off with the random ship that hates me. So, a wandering person. We can now actually do all these submarine stuff. We've got so many opportunities. Oh, it's great. We'll go pick up that port report. And let's go talk to this wandering person before we go in. Glances nervously back at the face in the hill, but his handshake is strong. He seeks passage to the Church of Low Barnet beneath the sea just outside, beneath the Z just outside London. His suit is well tailored for an itinerant preacher. His cufflinks wink with sapphires. So, we can either get a blessing, we can get some knowledge, or we can get some money. I think knowledge is probably the best option that we have here. Low Barnet, where have I heard that before? You know, we've been driving, we've been sailing past Low Barnet every single time that we go north to Venderbite. It is that location there. And evidently, oh, that's opening up this submariner ability has just completely changed my understanding of the Z specifically, because there's so many areas that we saw from the surface that just weren't anything that are now apparently something that we can access, so we can see and talk to. It's great. It's fantastic. All right, let's trade it for knowledge though, because knowledge is always good. People like to confide in Parsons. What can he confide in you? A small confession. Ah, he gives a knowing smile. You travel to learn as well as to trade. Sir, I'm myself studying the religions of the Untersee. By extracting the most admirable elements of each, I mean to construct a modern superior faith. I understand the value, the spiritual value, of course, of hidden knowledge. Once on board, he insists you find a quiet cabin and whispers one of the secrets he's learned in your ear. Now that is interesting. So we've now picked up an intriguing snippet. Interesting. I don't think we've ever had one of those before. But we now know that we need to go to, where was it? Low Barnet to drop off our wandering parson here. Okay, the DLC is good, so good and adds heaps. Yeah, it just really unifies all of the disparate areas, because I thought that there were a lot of things that I just couldn't interact with that were named. But it turns out that you can interact with them. You just need to have a submarine first, which is really cool. It expands it just that bit more. Let's write this down though. Wandering Parson wants to go to Low Barnet, which is by Fallen London. Perfect. All right, let's go ashore and go into Visage. Let's go pick up our mask here. We'll go grab the Locust mask, I believe. All right, let's just double check. Yeah, Locust is for those who would seek profit. So let's grab the Locust mask and not take the Bat mask, because that will probably result in something very bad happening to us. Hunger for all things. Moon moth settles the locust mask over your head. The eye holes are covered with a thin gold film through which valuable objects gleam more brightly. May you find a happy harvest, says the moon moth. Then, when you have partly turned away, it double knots the ties on its purse as though you're likely to pick its pockets. Doesn't it know you can see it? Oh, and I guess we still have access to the exact same areas. I thought we would have access to different areas here. Well, I guess we can visit the Library of Parts here. Looks like it's the same flavor text going in. Well, does anything change here? No, looks like it's all still the same explanation. We don't get a different one now that we are a locust. We'll go pick the pockets of our of the readers here. I don't think we can. I don't think we'll have a good likelihood of stealing the scrolls here. What do the masks do again? The masks depend on. So you have to interact on this island as whoever's mask you were wearing. Frogs are kind of visitors. They just want to check the local culture and stuff. They're not very smart. They're kind of bubbling. Locusts are here to make money. So evidently that involves stealing, particularly. I thought it would have more to do with trade, but evidently that is not the case. And bats are ill omens. They are either spies or mercenaries. And so that's why I was concerned about picking the bat thing, because it could result in us getting fought and potentially die. Perhaps not dying, but at least taking injury, which I don't really want to do. Suppose let's pick the pockets first. We've got a very good chance at that. If we're still here after we pick their pockets, we can try stealing a valuable scroll. Okay. While they're looking, you can be acquiring. Ignored. You dip your fingers into a crocodile's purse and acquired a few coppers from a heron. From the way the heron flinches, you know she knows you're there. Apparently, it's the etiquette of the place not to prevent a locust from stealing. Perhaps for that same reason, the coins are no more than tiny copper chips, each stamped with an eye sigil, practically worthless. Oops. Okay. Wow, a 92% failed? Well, evidently I failed at that and just locked me out. Let's trade masks with the Moonmoth this time. It has been making subtle overtures for some time. You only now understand them. It is keen to go. It draws you aside into a closet in the customs house. I had enough of visage, it tells you frankly. Here, you take my mask and pretend to be me. I'll trade in my visitor mask. I'll trade in the visitor mask and get on some departing ship. Get my life back. Its face, no, now you see her face, is aging but unlined. A lifetime of never needing to use a facial expression. Oh. Oh, dear. Okay. So I've just traded my visitor's mask, which means I can no longer escape. I hadn't realized that was what was going to happen there. I hadn't realized at all that there were visitors' masks and residential masks. I guess that made sense considering there were only 3 shown, but I thought I could unlock more somehow. Okay, well, I guess I'm a moon moth now. This is the house of the chief geometer. It is understood to be an honor. Lines in wet ground. Each morning, the man in the cobra mask draws lines in the mud flat with a pointed steel rod. This apportions to each inhabitant a small trapezoidal area from which to harvest mushrooms and to scrape salt. No plot is ever preserved from one day to the next. This man is the chief geometer, the keeper of directions, master of land measures and sea measures. Now you've been invited to his home at the time customarily appointed for him to receive those who are not his equal in rank, yet not so far beneath him as to deserve to be ignored. What ceremonial gift will you bring him? I feel like shoot. So he's a cobra. I feel like I have to do this in character, or else bad things occur. This is why I said you could be staying here a while from the beginning, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. We'll have to puzzle our way out here. I feel like a moth would have brought fresh candles, but sadly we don't have any. Let's try bringing a... a necklet of lapis beads? Best thing is collect blood. Okay. I don't see any blood options here. Perhaps that's just a general tip. I think I'll bring him a necklet of lapis beads here. If they do not suit him, they may suit a wife of his. If they don't suit her, he can use them for an offering. Because moths like shiny things, right? Yeah, surely. Feeling blue. He gives them to a servant with orders that they may be crushed and the powder made to pigment, and the pigment used for painting. It is uncertain whether this is a deadly insult. You aren't thrown out of the house at any rate. Okay. Visit the Temple of Apis. All the denizens of Visage go there sooner or later. I suppose we might as well. The Wounded God. In the center of the temple is a black bull with a white diamond on its face. It is tied in place with heavy ropes, and it is wounded in the thigh. From this wound, it bleeds copiously without dying. Okay, I see. The priests gather around the bull, capturing its blood in cups. Yeah, so collecting the blood for ourselves. Yeah, it happens. Okay. So since we've gotten a tip that this is the best option here, perhaps it is a holy relic. Perhaps it could be sold as one to unsuspecting buyers elsewhere. Will this kick me out? Will any of these options kick me out is the thing that I'm worried about. I suppose I can always return. I'm going to observe here first, because I think if I took some blood for myself, that would cause that to be locked. That could cause that to be locked out. This is very passive. Customs here may be worth reporting later. You alone may act. The priest would be suspicious of anyone else who did this, but you, as Moonmoth, often have a need to narrate the rituals of Visage to newcomers. The explanations in the Library of Parts are not suitable for strangers, and therefore you are expected to compose your own. Ah, okay, so I am still just a tour guide sort of thing. I've gained an intriguing snippet from it, at least. And now we know what we do here. Oh, shoot. Evidently, we've knocked ourselves out of the ability to collect some blood for ourselves here. Whoops. Okay. Apparently, that did lock out the other options. Well, let's leave a respectful token of offering then, because that's the only option available to us other than making notes. Even wounded, it remains a god. Impeccable. The tokens are small and not very valuable, as suits your lower rank in the community. The priests arrange them on a table with other small items. As you go out, you pass by the more impressive gifts: drafting tools from a chief geometer, scales from a jackal, a heap of foreign coin brought home by the crocodile. Okay, so it looks like chief geometer is just sort of a mapping guy, right? He divvies up the areas that you can work in. He maps the land and sea, that sort of things. Scales from the jackal could be a cook. It could be maybe it's a representational thing. It could be like a judge of some kind, a lawyer maybe. Then heaps of foreign coins. Crocodiles just seem like a trader. Scales for weighing. Yeah, but I don't really know what it would mean for weighing. Jackals maybe could be a farmer if it's actually for weighing. Like Egyptian lore. Well, judgment. Okay, yeah, that does make sense. Jackals were big in Egyptian culture. Well, I say culture, mythology. Oh, and apparently this gave me a little bit further here. A shore and visage. On the lower slopes, stone buildings, flat roofs. Okay, this is just the normal stuff. Enter the hollow of the ear. It is a place of still greater pageantry. This is a journey of several steps. Are you kidding? Is my ship taking damage? No way. Okay, what was that? I can't leave this. Oh, my ship has somehow drifted into the dock. I do declare that that is absurd. I really hope that's not a glitch. Hope that's not going to break my ship in half. Never seen that before? Yeah, me neither. Very strange. There's a place of greater pageantry. This is a journey of several steps and may conclude in your current visit. Are you even docked? Yeah, I'm definitely docked because I was able to interact with Visage's story tab here. How very strange. Okay. Well, we'll just keep going on here. A proud nose. It is a festival day. The great stone face has been illuminated from forehead to chin with blazing torches so that the profile is visible from the side more clearly than you have ever seen it. Flourishing of years is awake, says the genderless figure in the crocodile mask. Plus, there was a ship after you when you docked, right? I'm sure if you won't, they'd be firing, lol. At least your supplies and terror are not increasing. Yeah, that I'm comfortable with. I think it was just a quick bug. I don't think it's actually colliding with the dock. Hopefully, I'm just hoping that once I get out of here, hopefully, somehow, it doesn't break my ship in half because it thinks I've run aground. Hopefully. But yes, the face is apparently awake. All the denizens of Visage are walking towards the ear together. There's a place in the procession which belongs by right to the wearer of your mask. So we can either fall in line with others, we can bring a flare with us, or we can depart. Yes, we do have a flare. We brought one in case we got stranded ever again. Evidently, it's a good thing that I did. Fall in line with the others, secretly bring a flare with you. Perhaps you will need it in the darkness where you are going. So, on your recommendation, I will go in with the flare. Ritual disobedience. It is a risk to bring it, but it would also be a risk to go without. You conceal the flare in the folds of your robe and fall into the procession. May your sins weigh as stone, says the man in the jackal face, as you fall into line ahead of him. Inside the hollow of the ear, the road you follow leads up through switchbacks along the side of the face, and finally to the ear of flourishing of years, and into the cave that is her ear. The tunnel bends back on itself, and all lights have now been extinguished. There's nothing to guide you but the hand of the person behind you on your back and the movement of person in front of you. The one who walks beside you wears a bat mask. Fortunately, the floor of the tunnel is very smooth and presents no stumbling blocks. Sound carries strangely in this place, however. Sometimes you cannot hear your own footsteps, and sometimes a breath comes back to you, audible from someplace ahead in line. So we can try to run. You do not really know what this festival is or what it means, or we can continue. There's a secret in the dark. It's the only thing you'd need a flare for unless you want to blow up a blimp. Well, I bought the flare specifically because in our first captain, when we got stranded at sea, it said that if we had had a flare, we would have been able to signal other ships for aid. So that's the primary reason I bought it. But apparently I can use it in this, so I guess that it is that's just a convenience that I have. I think we're going to continue here. There's a secret in the dark. Because I do want to figure out what happens. In line, the footsteps of the people are steady and synchronized, and you go together. For how many years has this been done, and for how many will it be done in the future? Watch your step here, says Batmask to you in an under voice. Its accent is the accent of Wolfstack Docks. Floor is about to get squishier. And sure enough, it does. Deep within, at last the tunnel opens out. You and all the other congregants spread out in a cavernous space. A voice speaks in the darkness, a ritual preparation. Here at the new year, we gather under the one mask of flourishing of years. Her face is turned to the gods. Protected by her mask, we may remove our own. Protected by her script, we may speak outside our parts. Here and there is the sound of people fumbling with ties and strings. Your own face feels different with the mask off. So, we could, if we had a lamentable relic, we tell one of our own secrets. We can just listen here. could fight the urge to giggle. What curious practices they have here. Receive the confidence of a stranger as holy. I think we'll listen here. I think we'll just listen to see what's going on. Not much for blackmail. You move stealthily through the dark, hearing one nod of conversation and then another. The secrets exchanged do not offer much leverage. You can't see the owners of the secret. Here and there, you might catch the smallest fragment of something that might serve you on future occasion. The memory of a voyage east, a half rumor about the Carnelian coast, muttering about the Admiralty. So we just got a bit of fragments here. So, what do we do now? I don't want to cut my ties permanently off with this area, or with this island, which I feel like, I feel like that'll happen, considering it says explicitly that this will certainly get you kicked off the island. But I don't want to be stuck here either. Ooh, what do I do? The hour of confidence is drawing to its end. If there's anything else you need to do, now is the time. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Do I risk it? Do I risk this worrisome result? We brought the flare. I think we should. Set it off? Okay. I'll set off the flare, allowing you to see everyone. You will see everything. Ouch. The light is so sudden, so searing, that someone screams. All around you are all sorts of things. Some are human, but you see other faces. Rubbery, clay, some unrecognizably altered. The chief geometer, with his mask off, doesn't seem to be bothering to wear a face at all. Many faces are wet with tears. No one welcomes the blaze of light. Someone throws a cloak over the flare, a mistake, because of course it only begins to burn. After that, someone manages to douse both flare and cloak. Who in this crowd was carrying a bucket of water? But it is put out and someone's hands are clamped firm around your wrist. And that is the last you see of visage. You are taken blind back to the docks, your face covered in a black cloth that is no mask at all. We've gotten a searing enigma. We've lost a flare. We've gained a secret. Searing enigmas are hard to get. The other option is a captivating treasure. Okay. All right. Well, I can no longer go into visage. Dang. Or maybe I can. I just have to have something awaits us. I hope I wasn't permanently kicked out. That would kind of suck. Because it seemed like there was so much more going on there. There was a dude without a face. The Grand Geometer. And there was a lot going on. Okay, well, we've interrupted their ritual. Sorry. Sort of kicked off forever. Oh, okay. Well, we never go back there, but that's okay. I feel like there were more secrets to be discovered, but maybe we can do that with a future captain if this one ever gets... Yeah, seriously, what the heck was that being docked? Something for our next captain, yeah. All right, I have gotten myself off of the dock, which I somehow drifted onto. You can, just not the same Searing Enigma storyline. Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. That is fine then. I think... Let's see, the Sea of Lilies was this. We've been through here. We've been through this whole area. Why has it been blacked out? Surely we have, right? Like you can collect blood. Okay, so we can do other options. We just don't go into that cave. Interesting. Well, I think We're going to try to sail through this black area here. I swear we had explored it before. Evidently, that was not the case. Hopefully, we'll be able to set sail here without this ship in front of us turning around and blasting us. Which, of course, he will immediately try to go do. Please get blocked by the island. Okay, he's sailing into the dock. Oh, no, he's not. He's firing on us? No, I think he is stuck by the dock. I think we're good. Blast it, you need to reduce terror. Yeah, but I'm also at 50 hull, and he has 100 and something health to mess around with. I think 180. 180 health, which I cannot take down with my weapons. No, at least not at my not at my skill level here. Terror is at 81. Whoa, yeah, that is actually really high. I didn't even realize. Shepherd Watch, salty hinterlands of London, home to hermits, nuns, and shadowy business. Well, we'll just go grab the... hold on a moment. Do we not have... I guess we don't. Okay. I thought we'd be able to get another port report here, but apparently that single port report that we had that was worth 100 echo was to not investigate this place again. Ooh, we succeeded this time. A familiar smell. Searching for signs of other visitors. There's nothing to see along the narrow quays, but there is a smell distinct enough to rise above the odors of brine and wood and wet rope. It is a smell of frankincense burned recently and in substantial quantities, rather. Interesting. Well, we know that they've been burning frankincense for whatever that means. I do intend on returning to Fallen London. I'm just kind of heading through this area here just to clear it out. And maybe we'll meet the Khanate here. Go left, kill little crab. I didn't see a small crab over here. Oh, there it is. Discovered Wolf's Rift. I now see it, presumably down here. I can't actually see because there's a large... What is this? Yeah, okay, that's just a little crab. We'll just go sit here and deal with him real fast. There we go. Oh yeah, that chopped it off. Well, oops. Put that well down. We'll take it for supplies, yeah. Didn't give us any supplies properly, but it just gave us some hunger back, which is fine. Nearly minus 10 terror. Yeah, it's really great. I didn't realize how well how well killing things on the ocean reduced terror. That's fantastic. Evidently, we've found Abbey Rock again. I think this is with the sisters. Yeah, the sisters stuff, right? Also fits with my Iron Captain. Yes, it does. And so Abbey Rock here, we'll just grab the port report from it. And I guess watch the convent? Go straight north, there's an island. Yeah. I will head up that way. Do I want to use my something awaits us right now? How far off would you say that island is? Well, we've got space. Let's go observe them, I suppose. Alright, they're still doing combat up on the tops of the walls. So, we could trade our supplies. We'd actually make a profit on it. Save it? Oops. Okay, well, hopefully I'll sail around for long enough that it will come back. But, let's see. Westergren's Fire is the lighthouse up here. There's a jelly something over here. Can we start loading our weapon here? Oh, has it seen us? Yes, it has. All right, lights on. Blow it to smithereens. There we go. Lovely. If you get supplies from the surface for 5 echoes and sell it there, it's very profitable. Oh, interesting. All right, we can scoop it up, and I think that's what we'll do. Ooh, and it's given us another strange catch. Perfect. Now we'll be able to talk to one of our many officers which want a strange catch to talk to us with. We've discovered Flitterstone Isle up here. And Fieldhaven. Oh, I believe this is the Shepherd Isle. And we've actually got our Something Awaits Us back, which is great. We're actually getting a little low on fuel. A little lower than I'd want to be. Shepherd Isles, sheep, lichens, standing stones. Of course, the Bearded Watchman tells you there are no actual shepherds on the Shepherd Isles. Sheep are mostly illegal here. No, indeed, it's just the name of the gentleman that found the islands. Greybeards sitting in the square, village square nods solemnly. No sheep, one says, but plenty of tales. Ask us anything. A picnic at the Standing Stones. The bearded villagers will sell you mutton stew and kefir and stone bottles of cold, fresh spring water and row you over to the stones with 5 echo. You can ask of the Standing Stones, the 3 Graves, or the Tales of Thornwell Croft. Shoot. What did we... We'll go by the port report first. Oh, yes, yes, my yes. There's been a lot going on. In the bleak lights of the false stars, surface roiling like a porridge pot, up with the roar of steam and a flash of fire. 3 widows swim in tentacles. Then we saw his highness. There's rather a lot of this material. All right, but what did we ask them the last time we got here? Did we ask about the 3 graves? Or was it Thornwell Croft that we asked about? I think we asked about Thornwell Croft the first time. So we'll ask about the 3 graves this time. Who sleeps beneath the turf over on that island to the northwest? I say last time in a previous captain's journey. I think it was our first captain that found this location previously. Yeah, let's ask about the tales of the 3 graves. Hunters at rest. The Chelonate, right? They're hunters. They killed a turtle the size of London and built their city in its shell. A ship from the Chelonate came by, hunting the midnight whale. 3 of them had died cowards, so their bodies couldn't go into the Z. They paid us for the land in whale ivory. I still got a piece, but I keeps it safe. Cool. We've got a Z story and a memory of distant shores for that. Okay, and it looks like we can't do anything else here. We could buy fuel and supplies, both at expensive prices, expensive but standard Winter Z prices. Did we note this down the last time we came here? We did. All right. So, I think we set out here. Thornwell Croft is this island. So I suppose the next time we come back here, we can ask about that. We are getting a little low on fuel, though. Kind of concerned about that. And we're getting lots of terror things that we will not acknowledge in the slightest. Lots of nightmares and whatnot. Not going to deal with those. All right, let's send out our Z-Bat, see if we can find any islands we haven't found yet. Nothing, it looks like. Ooh, there is the middle of the sea harbor here that we can now interact with now that we've got our submarine. Oops, did not mean to slow that down. think we are... just about coming up on it. We will submerge soon. Is that a little thing up north of us? I saw just a hint of it. Nope. It's a big old ship. Lights off, lights off. Ooh, actually, no, we can take this. Come. Yes. Run away. Let me stick on your rear here. There we go. Alright, hopefully this will give us some fuel. Let's go loot and scuttle her. Some supplies and some fuel. Great. Oh, as well as a crate. Interesting. 2 more fuel in addition to that. Perfect. That's actually fantastic. That's exactly what we needed to keep going around here. Coke like coal, but more so the Department of Internal Rarefactions would have it. Alright, so where are we in comparison to that harbor here? Looks like just about on top of it. I assume that's what this lamp is. Oh my goodness. Are the sea lamps noting underwater locations? That would be amazing. That would be fantastic. I'm going to go submerge here, though. That would just add even more intrigue to the world here. Yeah, look at this. Rack, apparently. Wow, so what is this? It looks like a bunch of boats that have been turned into an area. Rack, earn your entry. The wreckers surround your docked submarine. Uh-oh. Okay, so we can either use a Tale of Terror, which we have plenty of, to tell them of your exploits, or we could try to wrestle them, which we only have a 60% chance of doing correctly. And it could go badly, so I think we'll just spend a Tale of Terror here. So, the wreckers surround your docked submarine. They greet you with crooked blades and rusted blunderbusses. Easy, trespasser, you want in, you prove you belong here. Tell of your exploits. Impress them with tales of your daring. Or at least make yourself the hero of a violent story you overheard. Sure I will. Natural-born storyteller. Your words are like hooks in their ears. The violence drags them where you will. By the end, they've sheepishly lowered their weapons before raising them again in great cheers, sounding like the thundering of cannon fire. Damn fine, trespasser. Welcome to Rack. The city is in want. So, what is Rack? Ships lured by false promises and lights litter the Z floor. Their broken hulls make a city for the wreckers. The citizens are in constant motion, working to survive and appease the fair king who sits deep within the city on his wheeled throne. Interesting. So we could... Ooh, we can use a Scintilic to buy an audience with the king. Evidently, we don't have... Rack, a city with ships to save no more than 0. We need a relationship of the... a relationship with the fair king in order to do that. So let's go provide a port report here. It doesn't look like that'll lock out any of the other options. The Admiralty would be very interested in the wreckers' activities. The wreckers know their duties. The poets write enticing lies. Talkers travel to other ports to spread them. Miners construct the devices which will sink the lured ships, and the salvagers strip them bare. The most celebrated of the wreckers wear no special costume but are easily identified. They mumble poems in Arabic to themselves. They whistle lively tunes in new scales. They wear heavy gloves and carry silver clippers with which to cultivate tether? What's tether? I guess that's the, like, vine stuff that's connecting all the ships? Interesting. Let's consider the state of the city, I suppose. The wreckers look sallow. Stores are running low. There is enough food to subsist for a time, but the poets may soon be out of paper, and the miners won't be able to make their explosives if their powder isn't refreshed. But the fair king ensures there is order. He goes without, just as his subjects do, and he sees that those who forsake their work for despair are flogged. Visit the shops tab. We've got access to the shops. Yes, that means we get to expand our Untersee listings here. Ooh, do I have enough room? Let's see, how many lines do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 7, so we don't have enough lines left here. I guess we're starting a new page. Alrighty. So, what do we have for us? We have, firstly, we're in rack. We've got Foxfire candles for purchase. Or for sale, rather. For sale, by us, purchase, by them. Yeah, that one. So those sell for 2 devil bone dice. A firkin of prisoner's honey costs some supply. We could have that, though. And supplies are not terribly expensive. So that's purchased for 1 supply. And sells for 0. A sack of dark drop coffee beans. Wow, that's bought for 3 supply. Naturally sold for 0. So if we wanted to trade supplies for resources here, that would be a pretty good option. Bales of parabola linen. Bought for 12 torpedo components. Those are 5 each, so that is 60 echo equivalently. They sell for nothing. And then fuel and supplies. Last but certainly not least. Fuel is bought for 20 echo. The only thing that is bought and sold here with echo, and sells for 11. And then supplies are bought for 40 echo and sold at 22. So we could actually make a profit just buying echo here, or buying echo in Fallen London or anywhere really, and selling it here. It's a little far out to do that, and it's not very much of a benefit to us, considering it's only, at best, a consistent trade from Port Carnelian, I guess, would be the best one for 18. We'd only sell it for 4 echoes of profit. Not the best. If it were from the Iron Republic's Market of Hungers, it would be a little better. 15 purchased and sold at 22, so a 7 echo profit on each supply, but that'd be worth a little too much cargo space. I think we could use it otherwise. Though actually, considering how many supplies we have and how far out we are, as well as the amount of fuel that we have, maybe we'll sell some anyway. Let's go check out all of the other story threads here first. So we can follow an echo through the halls. Many wreckers sing, but none quite like this. Yeah, let's go listen. Careful trespasser, a wrecker warns you as you approach. He escaped from Dahoot. Mind your manners or you might lose an ear. What is Dahoot? Is that one of the prisons here? Maybe. The escaped composer. He looks up from a water-warped pianoforte, adjusting his glasses. His hand is stained with ink. There's music written on the wallpaper behind him. The escaped composer's song, Take This with You, says the composer. It's a score scratched onto a sheet of seaweed. Rack begins this story and Dahoot continues it. Interesting. We can sell a drowny hymn, which we don't have, or a drowny love song, or a drowny song in counterpoint to the composer. Well, I suppose we'll take his composer song since that's the only thing we have option for here. Away from Dahoot. The composer explains, while I languished in a cell in Dahoot, dining on drowny slops, this is the music I wish to have. You glance over the score. The tune suggests the impact of metal and stone, a broken shell, a bubble of air slowly rising to the surface. This is not a cheerful song for a submarine. There is a lady who was imprisoned alongside me. I don't even know her name, but her courage kept me whole. If you go there, rescue her. There is no one less deserving of a cell in that place. We now have a song of broken hulls. So, the escaped composer has for us a new quest. We have to go to some place called Dahoot. Never seen that before as far as I know. We don't know where it is. It seems drownies, I believe, are, judging by the name, something below seas. So maybe it's an underwater prison? I don't know. But we'll have to bust somebody out of there. So we'll probably need a lot of veils to do that successfully. Nevertheless, that's something for a later time. Let's bid him farewell for now. Let's leave him to his music. I think the last thing to do here is to buy an audience with the Fair King. We've got the Scintillic from way, way before. I think we got that off of Pigmoat Isle. I knew it would be good to have it. Let's finally use it. The Wreckers fear and adore their king. With the right offering, you may be able to meet him. And boy, do I have it. Sometimes it happens this way. The rusted walls behind him are draped with two banners made of the tattooed flesh of his amputated legs. Wow. That's really metal. And also pretty terrifying. Jesus. He is admiring the Scintillic through a jeweler's lens as you enter. We are pleased. Tell me, he says, looking at you. How would you... Good God. He wheels towards you. His voice is hoarse. We are not strangers, you and I. Taste the tether and see for yourself. What? Apparently, I just have the option. Let's go figure out who he is. How do we know him? Let's see. Taste the tether. There is a weed that grows on the broken ships. To taste it is a privilege reserved for successful wreckers. Within the rustling innards of the broken battleship, the wreckers keep the tether. It is guarded by heavy bulwarks and priests capable of launching cannonballs across the room with their bare hands. It is the glory of Iraq. Wow, so not only do we have ninja sisters of the Abbey, we've also got basically weightlifter combat priests strong enough to throw cannonballs across the room with their bare hands. Is the church in this universe just a like military / absolutely cracked team of like martial artists? Is that what's happening? It's very strange, to say the least. Oh, we don't have any we don't have any scrap apparently, so we do need to figure that out. They're all just the shepherd from Firefly. Yeah, that could be the case. All right, knife, cup, or bone. Within the sanctum there are where no water drips are walls, doors, and a pedestal of trinkets. It is watched over by the stony matron. Make an offering of scrap, and you may choose. Okay, so we do have to get scrap, even though we've now been let in here. So let's go back out. I guess let's go wrecking. You can lure ships towards the rack. The wreckers may sink them. The king himself will reward you. You know, I'm not above piracy myself. We were previously an upstanding soldier, but you know, soldiers of fortune, always a little, benefit here. We haven't really been dealing with the Admiralty anyway. Okay, if you can lure ships towards the rack, the wreckers may sink them. The king himself will reward you. Right then, trespasser, we've heard fine things about some captains in the Khan's Heart. Why don't you go there and convince them to come our way? You're going to Khan's Heart. Okay. Well, we've got another quest then. Hopefully the Khan won't sink me for luring their ships out. Let's see. That's at rack. The rackers lure ships from Khan's heart, which we still don't know where that is. And I suppose we can eavesdrop on them as well. Yeah, sure. Let's learn where they're operating. Perhaps you can warn the ports for sake of goodness and profit. A miner hangs on the arm of a poet. That's your best work yet. No one could resist. The poet shrugs. Its success all depends on the talker and the audience. They're pretty receptive in Port Cavendish, aren't they? I'm sure we'll have another one sink over rack in a week. Alternatively, to go to Port Cavendish and warn them. I think I'll list this one down as anti-racker. Or anti-wrecker, I suppose. Are they rackers or are they wreckers? Because it is called rack. No, they are called wreckers, so... Anti-rackers. In Port Cavendish. Can I play both sides, I wonder? Can get some people from Khan's heart, and we can... we can warn the folks at Port Cavendish. Suppose let's go visit the fair king here. Wreckers look on you with quiet awe. They whisper as you pass tethered to the king. Okay. Evidently... we don't have... Wow, what is this? Approach the mirror. At the rear of his chambers, the fair king keeps a mirror made of ice. It holds a reflection, neither yours nor his, but that of a narrow, bespectacled gentleman. The king allows no one to approach it, but perhaps he will make an exception for you. What is this? What on earth is this? Evidently we know him from somewhere. Okay, well... we picked up a few quests from this location. I don't think we need to buy anything here. That's just curious. I think I'm just gonna head to the surface and head back. We are way over stream time at this point. So it is about time to end this. We'll have lots and lots of quests though to figure out stuff. And we finally expanded out to, I think, more than half of the map at this point. If not technically the underwater locations here. But I finally feel like I'm making some progress in here, into Sunless Sea. I was having the issues with that a lot, just because I didn't feel like I was going anywhere. But now that I've finally gotten the submariner stuff, I've gotten quite a bit of expanse. Uh-oh, that's a too big crab for me to deal with. I've got quite a bit of the map unlocked expansively. I feel like I'm actually making some good progress here. Uh-oh. Does he know I'm here? Traveling with lights off. Okay, I think we're good. Turn those lights back off on now that we're out of his range. Did we get a port report of the salt lines? I'm kind of too lazy to turn back around. Is that a ship I saw down here? I thought I saw something. No, it was an island. Okay. We're doing pretty well. I just have to make sure that I don't get too complacent, to make sure that the doing pretty well part ends up turning into doing very poorly. We are back, finally, in Fallen London. Alrighty. And we are home, finally. Oh, my goodness. Okay, there's actions, though. A boarding action. A sudden boil of bodies at the rail. While your zailors were sighing over the sights of London, armed foreigners were slipping up the sides of the ship. They wear tight-fitting dark uniforms and carry the complicated multiplicities of blades. The Presbyterian adventuress curses apologetically. Out of time, she says. Give her up. Assassins from the college. Yes, they're here for me. No, I didn't want to mention it. Yes, you're right to be cross. If you want to give me up, if you want to give me up, that's fair. She offers you her pistol. I'd listen to her. One of the assassins adds in perfect English, this is a sacred duty. We'll pay you a sacred price. Or we can fight to preserve her. What's a gang of unexpected assassins between friends? Have at them. We've got a 50-50 chance. You know what? She's an officer of the crew. We're going to sacrifice as much as we can to save her. We'll fight her off. Maybe. We'll see. Success, yes. A furious defense. The assassins fight fiercely in a near silence. Your crew sunders the silence with yells and shots, and the adventuress outdoes them all with whoops of fierce delight. At last, you drive the assassins back over the side. They take to their coracles and wisp into the night. Your casualties are lighter than you'd feared. All right, the adventuress says, lowering her blade. All right. Oh, and thanks, she adds, almost as an afterthought. We gained some iron from that. We lost a little bit of crew, but we helped the Presbyterian adventuress survive the attack. Okay. So, what the heck was going on? All's well, Captain. Did you need something? All is not well. You were just attacked by assassins. Let's ask the adventuress why you've been ambushed by assassins from her homeland. I owe you an explanation, don't I? What I'm about to tell you is a deep secret, a college secret. But people have died, I owe you an explanation. None shall live 1,000 years. In the Presbyterian in the south, we're close to the mountain and far from the sun, so we could live forever were that permitted. It isn't. The law is none shall live 1,000 years. My father made it to 1,011, she grins with shame-faced pride. Good for him, bad for his children. The law for me is thou shalt not live 100 years. I'm out of time. That's why I left the Navy. The college will get to me. They always do in the end, and I can't keep letting other people die for me. She stands to go. Will you help me find a way to die well? In battle would do, or a duel. Don't want to be, just shot by a pirate, eaten by a shark. I want people to talk after I'm gone. She offers you her hand. I'm sorry. So, the adventuress has asked you to help her die properly. We've gained some pages for that. Nice. And we gained a secret as well. Is that her dad? The guy you helped bomb? Ooh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did we blow up her dad? Uh-oh. Okay, that's not good. We may have blown up her father. I don't know, but wasn't that guy over 1,000 as well? He was over 1,000. That was something that our passenger specifically said. Problems. Well, we know that the Presbyterian adventuress. I don't even know how to mark this because it's not a location. She just wants to die in battle. I guess or die well, I suppose, is her technical term for it. Okay, well, we have a quest for her. Something has changed. Someone wants to sign on. Everything pretty much standard. Let's go submit our reports here. Apparently, it's a high-risk challenge to submit a Shepherd Isles report. We didn't hear anything there. Oh, no, right. They told us specifically that the 3 graves were for, like, a hunter that hunted a crab as big as Fall London, something like that. I think I'll just submit that as an unsubstantiated hearsay. That'll probably be easier, especially since we have a very small chance of submitting that as fact. And they already think we're mad considering our details of Pigmote Island, or Pigmote Isle. So, Shepherd Isles submit as unsubstantiated fact. We do hear some unlikely tales of that place. Friendly scoffing. I agree, it does seem implausible. So many of these stories from that place do. Still, there's a little gold of truth in the mud of rumor from time to time. Your payment. Abbey Rock. Yep. Same thing. Same thing with the Cumaean Canal. Iron Republic is all safe. It exploded again. Oops. Also, that kicked us out of the thing. The Isle of Cats. And what does the so-called Pirate King have to say for himself these days? Report submitted. Yes. Well, we did rather know about his rose gardens. Not good news that they're prospering, though. Really should have nipped it in the, if you'll allow me, bud, huh? Oh, because gardens, right. In trading with the Khanate, with the Iron Republic, bother, I may have to have a meeting about this, with an emphasis on the meeting. Visage, I've been kicked out. Sorry. Port Carnelian. Yep. Pretty standard there. Grand Geode stuff. Everybody's a little spooked about that. Quaker's Haven, everything has gone on there fine. Eigel. Station 6. One hears strange stories. So that's Station 6? Really? Interesting. So they do have underwater. Okay, so that's something that I'm not clear about. They outlawed underwater exploration, right? There's no submarine stuff. But somehow they have underwater-only accessible bases? That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all. Station 6. One hears strange stories. Okay, Rack, what can you tell us of those wretches? And that is everything here, I think. Do we have any more port reports? No, nothing. Okay. I think we're good there. We've bolstered our echo here. Is there anything else to do in Fallen London? We could set ourselves up in dry dock here. Double check the hold. We've got the strange catch. Right, we've got the strange catch, so we can talk to a few of our officers here. I think it's the cook requires a strange catch and butyr salt, which we don't have, and I think just the chief engineer just requires that strange catch. So I think we'll go with that. Let's invite her to dine with you. That's a lovely idea. How about a fish dinner? I do have quite particular tastes in fish. A knowing smile. I've heard about you. You like to invite your officers to dinner, learn their secrets. Well, you don't need to dig far to find my secret. I wanted to talk to you about it, actually. I've never met my mother. I know my father. I'm a countess on his side, actually. I'd like to find her. She's somewhere out at Z. If only. Really, you'd help me. That's too kind. If you insist. Here, it so happens that I made a list earlier tonight. So. Whoa, we've got a lot of locations to visit here. Luckily, we've already seen a bunch of them. So we can check here and there for them. Let's go write all of these down. So, Maybe's daughter wants us to go to Wither. The Isle of Cats. Irem. The Chalinet. We've actually heard this one mentioned before. I'm not sure what it is. I thought it was part of the Khanate, but maybe it's another faction entirely. Khan Shadow, we've already heard of that location, though we haven't seen it. Port Carnelian. And lastly, the surface port of Naples. So we'd have to head up the Cumaean Canal in order to go to Naples to check it out. Still, though, we have more quests from them. Alrighty, I think I'm going to end it there. I don't think I have anything left to do in London here. I suppose except for repairing our ship. Yes, and we've got plenty of Admiralty favor to do that with. Okay. Yeah, everything else is pretty much bog standard. You have a lot of secrets. You might want to upgrade some stats. I might do that, actually. I might upgrade my mirrors here so we can convert these strategic informations into vital intelligence a little more easily with the memories of distant shores rather than having to use up a move in the Great Game, because those are much more rare. But that will be for next stream. So next time when we come back, we've got a whole list of quests that we've picked up, talking to various characters from all over the place, talking to our officers, talking to finally those opened up paths from the Submariner content. Fantastic. And we'll have to drop off immediately the Wandering Parson in Low Barnet, which is just north of us. But that will be it for today. I will be back playing Sunless Sea on Thursday at 3 p.m. PST, and that is when we will continue all of this on. I will also be back tomorrow. If you're not solely interested in Sunless Sea content, I will be playing the Minecraft mod Sevtech Ages, where we're going to get through the Betweenlands, which really was a pin in my side last time. Same time, 3 PST, if you want to join there. And so, yeah, I think that is all for today. We will get everything settled now. And then next time we are back, we'll start going on those submarine experimental quests. Well, I say experimental. The submarine is experimental. The quests are not. We will fulfill those quests, hopefully, and we'll go check all of the other locations that we've already been to see if we can take those submarine quests and make something out of them. Thank you very much for joining in. I am going to head out. Cheers, guys. Thank you.